Okay. Well, today we have a special guest for you guys. I'm super excited and nervous, but more
Okay.
excited to have this beautiful young lady with us. And I'm going to let Ms. V do the honors with that because Ms. V can really tap into, they have a closer bond. And when Miss V talks about her, she speaks so eloquently. So I'm going to hush and let Miss V take over from here.
I don't know about any of those things that Miss Keisha just said. Thank you, Key. But I am so excited about today's guest. You may know Ermi from her powerful TikTok lives, but behind the screen is a bold and magnetic soul on a journey of healing, truth, and community. Ermi is a highly intuitive psychic medium, tarot, oracle reader, healer, and teacher, as we know personally. She's also a nurse, mother, wife, and a proud Leo who shows up unapologetically to help others break free from fear and limiting beliefs. Her path of unchurching and spiritual reclamation has inspired hundreds, especially in the Black community, to step into their gifts and say, if she can do it, so can I. With over 20 classes and 200 plus students taught, Ermi's passion is building safe spaces where everyone is invited to teach, learn, and grow. We welcome Ermi to the stage. We are so happy to have you here, Ermi. How are you today?
Oh my God.
Yes.
What an intro.
I told you she was gonna knock it out the
Wow.
park.
Wow. Thank you so much. I am honored to be here, ladies. That was absolutely beautiful, V. I'm about to
Oh, I
cry.
was
That
just,
was beautiful.
and now I was just smart enough to contact your right hand man. Because I said as well. No, and that's no shade, but Ermi is she's a presence that people desire. They want to hear from her. They want to talk to her. So of course she has events. And I said, I'm not gonna go reinvent the wheel. I'm sure Jessica has some wonderful things. And when I read it, I said, oh, that's what I would have said. So, but welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome
Thank
in
you.
everybody.
I love it. So
Mhm.
I don't know what's going on with these boxes today. Because I don't like how it's set up on here, but we gonna push through.
I think you can push the which buttons? Um, the people at the bottom. And I think
Mm-hmm.
you could change it that way. Or you could tap the screens. I don't remember. Oh, I don't want to start lying. But there's ways that you could change it that way. And I can't do
Oh,
it on my
okay.
side.
You
It's in
can't
your
do it on your.
settings. Yeah, it's in your settings because you're the host.
Like, see, now
Well,
you made me big.
we'll take that though. We'll take that. You are the special guest.
Wow.
How you doing today, Army? Look, I'm so excited. I've been like a kid in a candy store all day. I'm like, we talking to Army.
Aww. Shara says, go to the people, then the setting icon. Yeah, so go to the people at the bottom.
Okay.
I know, Shara. They got me huge on the screen. But yeah, go to the people at the bottom, and then you'll be able to switch it around.
Okay, I'm here now. So let me see. Oh, yes. Thank you, Shara. There we go. Shout out to Shara, the TikTok guru.
Yeah, she is.
Guru.
So you
I'm,
could change. You could change me back to one of the boxes up there.
look, I'm with Coco. She said you're a huge presence. So yes.
Oh, thank you.
Hey Rita, how you doing?
Hey,
Oh look,
everybody.
I'm so happy y'all all chimed in with us, and we got questions for Army, but we just gonna let spirit flow as well. So that's it.
Okay. And I wanted to ask the people, did anybody take the advice that we gave at the end of the last podcast and apply it to your week this week? I believe Key said it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. And I said act the fuck up. Did anybody we already know who was getting their hands popped in Sunday school. It was me. Does anybody have anything, any questions that you want? Go ahead and put them in the chat so our mod could kind of monitor those, so we can make sure we get to everyone throughout the podcast. And I just wanted the key to reiterate the topic so everyone would know what we're talking about today.
Absolutely. So you all may know Ermi. Some of you may not, but if you don't, get to know her. And she's the medium who walked away from religion and walked into her calling. And so that is our subtopic today. But this is a series of deconstructing religion. So, yes.
Right. So, Ermi, can you start off with us and just give us a little background on your origin story? You know, all the villains got an origin story. Not saying you a villain, but you know, it's always that piece, that one piece that brung us to where you are today. We'd like to hear about it. I know I've heard you talk about it in bits and pieces, but I like for those who don't know you to get to know you a little bit.
Okay. My start as far as my spiritual journey kind of pushed me into space. Okay, I'm gonna just preface this already. I'm a Leo Sag, and I have a Cancer in Mars, so that already show you that that's the villain right there, the Cancer in Mars, because we don't give a damn. Well, how clean can I be on this live?
Oh, look, you can be you on this live. And
Okay,
Jazzy,
all right.
welcome in. New here.
Okay, good. But when it comes to my spiritual journey, I'm born and raised in South Florida, and born and raised in the church. I started knowing that's all I knew was a church because my mom was in the church before I was born. She came from Haiti. I'm a Haitian background, family from Haiti. But she is, I want to say maybe first generation. No, I'll be first generation American. So she came here and she, again, that's all I knew. So I was raised in a Baptist church. And it was just more ritualistic. Like, you do this, you go to church, you sing the songs, you go home. Do this, so that was what I knew. My dad, who my mom and dad, they were married. He was in the church as well. He became a pastor. But him and my mom divorced before I really knew all of that. Before I was acknowledged to him being a pastor and all that stuff, I was already out of that space. But everything that I was learning in the church, it was all Haitian based. I'm an American born Haitian girl that is conflicted with my culture and in my environment. So I was very conflicted with being in the church and learning and hearing things that was not relatable to me, because again, everything was coming from my mom's, her heritage, and all I knew was being home and learning, just being a normal Haitian in the house. But then outside the house, I'm conflicted because I'm around my Black American friends, and we real Black American. So I've adapted to that, and then being in the church, not leaving the church, but going home, and I'm back to my Black American friends. And so it was always a conflict for me. Was baptized in the church again, and then baptized again. And I'm a kid being baptized and then being told you need to be baptized again. So I got baptized again. I'm like, okay, but I didn't see no change. I didn't see what was the purpose. I just thought it was, again, a ritualistic thing to do. And I was a singer in the church. Every time my mom sung, I had to go up there and sing with her. And we singing French songs. Nothing that I could relate to being a Haitian American in this world. And I'm not living in Haiti. I wasn't born and raised in Haiti, but we would go to Haiti every summer. So for like months for 3 months at a time, we'll go every summer as a kid. And then, so I would come back not speaking English, and I had to relearn English again. And I'm like, okay, because I'm speaking full Creole, not understanding. A lot of things that they preached about was all about like the voodoo and we got to get away from that and stuff like that. Non-relatable to me. So I'm in church, nothing's clicking, nothing. I'm not retaining anything. I'm not retaining anything. I'm just doing the ritualistic things that we normally do. Eating, okay, here comes first Sunday. We got to do the communion every Sunday, every first Sunday. We're doing the same stuff. It's just Haitian, in the Haitian way. And then when I left, I ended up graduating. I ended up, graduating high school, and I went off to college and still wanted that church because again, it was embedded in my brain, so I had to find a church. So I went to a Bible-based church, a non-denominational church. I would just visit churches and just look at like everything is so different, and it would just be me going with my classmates or college mates, just going because that was normal. That was what we were supposed to do. You have to go to church, and so end up getting me and my ex-husband, we end up finding each other. He was my, like, I don't want to say high school sweetheart, but like after a year or two after I graduated high school, we kind of were drawn back to each other, and we were together for 8 years before I even had my daughter. So it was just me, him, and church was not in the picture at all. Like, okay, I got my partner, we could go travel, we could go have fun, we go. And again, church was not in my mind. And then when we decided to have a baby, then that's why I was like, oh, it's gonna be weird me showing back up to church to dedicate my child to the Lord. That's gonna be weird, but I got to do it, and I'm gonna show my face, smiling and proud, back to my mother's church because again, they knew me, and we did, and it was my husband there too, and my husband never been to that church at all, and we were over there dedicating our child back to God. And then my daughter would go to church with my mom because now I'm a professional. I have to go to work during the Sundays, and so my daughter would go with my mom, and they would go to church every single Sunday. So I still was detached a little bit, but I still showed up, but detached when I was ready. So I didn't take it serious, but I was like, this is life. This is our culture. This is what we do. This is normal. And I didn't know anything outside of that normal. I didn't know anything outside of that normal until I got divorced from my ex-husband, and it kind of catapulted me into the church. I've heard the voices of spirit. I heard what was taught as God's voice. I heard that. To go to this church, you need to go to church. And I'm like, what? I'm hearing this church. I need to go to this pastor, because I knew from my brother that he was going to church, and I noticed his change. I'm like, he's different. Okay, church might be working. All right, maybe I need to go to church. Maybe I got to go back. And then when I went, and it was 180. I did not recognize nothing. Everything was different. It was a Pentecostal church. I've never been to a Pentecostal church. So that was my shocker. Like, what the heck are they doing? What kind of church is this? This church is a little too much. They loud and rabako shekebese and the sheets and all the things. And I'm just like, what? What am I doing here? But I heard you need to go there. And I feel now that was spirit showing me, I need you to see something else. And I need you to feel the energy of spirit for real. Because you're not going to connect it with your family, with your church home back in Fort Lauderdale, what you grew up to know. But now that you're in this space, we're going to show you something different. And then I'm seeing the Holy Ghost. I'm seeing, the Holy Ghost move. I'm seeing the pastor prophesy. I never even heard of prophecy. I never even heard that word before. I never even knew what a prophet was. I'm like, what are y'all talking about prophets? And what are y'all talking about? Again, childhood, growing up in a Haitian church, they're not talking about that stuff. They talk about how you can cast a witch out and you see shapeshifters, and it was very scary. It had a very scary tone to it. But when I went to that church, I was like, oh, I need to be here. Ooh, I feel God in here for real. Ooh, again, still that mindset of God energy. I started to learn about it a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I want to speak in tongues. Everything was so new to me. Ooh, I want to do that. And this was in 2016. 2016? No. It was before 2016 when I went into the church. I want to say maybe 2000. Oh, maybe it was like 2015, 2014, around that time. 2013, 2014. Yeah, so I was in there for 3 years. But yeah, so anyway, when I got in there, it was just it was a huge awakening. And plus, I was 33 when I said I wanted to be baptized. So now this time I'm serious. I was like, oh, I want to be baptized. But I was already in that space for a while, like maybe a year. And I was like, oh God, I want to get to speaking in tongues. And oh God, I want that too. I want all of this stuff, and show me how to, I wanted it. I wanted it because I wanted to get closer to God, because again, I have divorced. This is a major traumatic situation in my life, and I am now seeking God. Show me God, because that's all I got. I don't got nobody else. I know I got my baby, but God, if you say you're real, you show me you for real. I'm ready. Then that's all I have is you. And I said I wanted to be baptized, and I said, God, if you say who you are to me, you need to show me for real. And I remember walking into the water, into the beach, and then they baptized me, and I came up, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, my mouth, okay, and I was like, whoa. And if I didn't believe it, listen, V, if it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have believed it. I would not have believed it. And then that's when I started to see more and hear more, and I'm hearing, don't go over there, and she just said this, and just like the voice was just getting louder and louder in my head, and I said, oh my God, you're real. Okay, God, you're real. So that was an awakening for me. And then I started hearing, she's using you. That's a lie. Don't go there. I'm starting to hear it different now. Like, okay, my ears are covered up for just because I needed God. And so I was being manipulated, not realizing there was manipulation. I was just like, okay, yes, I'm a servant of the Lord. And yes, whatever you need me to do. And oh my God, I'm going to give $1,500 as my seed. I'm sowing in faith, and my blessings are attached to this. And oh God, you got me. You carry me through this. And I'm not knocking people that went to church, but this is my experience. This is my experience.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that.
I have to say that because I'm not knocking I'm not knocking it, but this is my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
This is my own experience. And when it was the voice, that same voice that, again, my pastor and my prophetess, they were like, yeah, you tapped. Yes, Ermi, Sister Ermi. Oh my God, Sister Ermi. And they would say daughter, because we would look at them as our spiritual parents. And I didn't understand that either. Like, why are we calling them mom and dad? What the hell? That's not my mama. That's not my daddy. So it was a different shift, and the culture was so different for me. And my sister and my brother was like, no, that's what we say here. That's what we do. And I'm like, dang. My ex-husband was like, yeah, you don't notice it seemed like a cult. They real cult-like. And I was like, nope, I need God. I need it. I need to understand it. I need it. And when they were accurate, what they were saying to me, a lot of things they were prophesying to me, it was like, oh, dang, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, you knew that. Okay, God is in here for real. If y'all knew that, God must be talking to y'all, telling my business. And now the business sound different. I'm like, wait, now y'all got too. Y'all, I just posted that on Facebook. Like, now y'all monitoring me now. And so the voice said, get ready to get out. Get ready to get out. And I'm hearing it's time to get out, because they were really eating off me. I mean, I used to host tea parties, the women's tea brunch, and like I was the one that took that over. Like we need to do this. We need to go ahead and do outreach. This is amazing, but I'm like, y'all don't want nobody to come into the church to preach either. But y'all want to outreach, but y'all don't want nobody to preach to. Y'all the only ones that can preach, or y'all don't want anybody else to sing in the church. I remember, and I was a praise and worship leader, and there was another church not too far, and it was like, who sings those beautiful songs? And one of the other girls that was in the praise team was like, oh, we sing the songs. And he was like, oh my God, I would love for you guys to sing in my church. And she was like, oh no, our pastor won't allow it. And I looked at her and said, what? Pastor won't allow it? What the hell? So again, I started to wake up. I started to wake up like, what you mean our pastor won't allow it? But my other church that I grew up in, they had pastors come through. They had guest pastors all the time, had guest churches all the time. So it was like, huh? What you mean? I thought we was trying to outreach and reach the community and work together with other people. Now it seemed like you being selfish now. And then I started to have that, it's time for you to get out of here. It's time for you to go.
I'd like to ask a question. What would you say to those who would say you didn't have a spiritual awakening, you were church hurt? How would you answer those people? Because a lot of people, when you leave the church for whatever reason, it can't be a valid reason. I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
When people tell me that, because I actually had somebody tell me that, they was like, you talk about this all the time on your lives, you're hurting. And I said, that's absolutely not it. This is awareness for those people that don't know that they need to wake up. This is an awareness moment. I have to talk about this. I have to talk about my story. If it's church hurt to you, then so be it. But for me, this was amazing. Like, I enjoyed those 3 years for me to be there, because it woke me up. It was necessary. It was necessary for me to go to the church. It was necessary for me to be there for those 3 years. And it was necessary for me to get the hell out of there, because now I learned what I needed to learn in that moment. I'm not knocking the church. I'm not knocking them people especially, but I'm knocking a lot of the manipulation. I'm knocking a lot of the little funny stuff, because I'm not going to say all churches are like this, but they have a heavy tone of this. I'm knocking the fear. Why y'all scared me so much to where I was thinking I was going to be in hell forever. I don't like that. I don't like that you guys are telling certain people. They wouldn't do it to me because I have a mouth, but they will tell people, oh, you can't, okay, y'all dating, but you can't get married for 3 years. And I'm like, what? So you gonna tell me how long I can get married? because the spirit's speaking through you. No, don't work like that for me. So church hurt. I mean, I was hurt with the lies. I was hurt about the lies. I was like, oh my God, when you get the lie, when you get the truth revealed to you, you're like, what the hell? So you lied to me this whole time? But I also think too that a lot of people that are still there and that they don't know either. You know, like it's like they don't have awareness either. They have no clue either, unless they're being pulled outside. And a lot of people, they do have the clue, because now I got to make sure my business is floating. I got to make sure my lights are paid. I got to make sure, okay, Sister Ermi gonna be in church today. I got to make sure I make this Bible, this speech, the preaching about. Let me go ahead and tug on her heart a little bit so she can give us a little extra. Like, I get it now. I get the manipulation. So I'm not church hurt. I'm free. I've been free from there for so long. I'm so free. But I want it to be an awareness, because I have to talk about my story. And I had to let that person tell me, I had to let that person know, this is my story though. I can't talk about my life because you don't want to hear about it, because you're still dealing with stuff that don't have nothing to do with me. Still have to talk about it to help other people, because when they start having their moments and they don't have a clue and they wonder what's going on, at least I'm a voice for the moment to say, hey, okay, she don't went through this, and all right, I am hurting, but now I can see it in a different lens, that it was really not hurt. I just needed to know that point, just get an understanding, like it won't just be hurt, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I'm glad that I'm sorry, Key.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So, Ermi, I'm glad that you said that, because that did bring me to a question that I had. So, for you felt free, but a lot of people feel guilt, fear, and conflicted when they're leaving the church. So, how would you speak to them, or how would you, help them transition out of the church onto their healing journey of healing that church hurt, if they have occurred that church hurt? How would you go about that?
For those that feel like, well, that first part of your question, can you repeat that first part again?
Absolutely. So I know that you said you felt free when you came out of the church. But some people have guilt and fear or internal conflict during that transition. How would you, just say you had to help someone navigate through that process? How would you help them navigate through that process?
I would definitely make them understand that being in church is, you're creating a relationship. You're creating a relationship. So when you're coming out of it, it's like you breaking up. It's like you having a breakup. When people break up, they go through all the emotions. You like, I hate that motherfucker. I hope he die. And you crying in the corner. It's the same thing. You're breaking up from a situation. You're breaking up from the church. You're breaking up from those people that you honored so much. You're breaking up. It's like a breakup. And you go through all the different stages of grief, or what comes with breakup. You get mad. You want to throw things at the wall, and you start having the 5 stages of grief. You go through all that, even with the church, even with that relationship, that connection with those people. And then it's not just the church, it's the individual people that you were connected to. So that's why the hurt lasts a little bit longer, because it's like, man, Sister Deb, man, I'm going to miss her, man. Or Brother John, he was rude to me, and he was actually tapping into my energy. And I didn't, you start picking apart those different people that were in that space. So it's not just the whole system itself. You're disconnected from the system, but then you start disconnecting from those individual people that you had those connections with. And that's what takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. This just like somebody died. This is a death. This is like a relationship ending, a death having that disconnection. It's like somebody just died. And what goes through, what happens with someone that you're mourning a situation, you're mourning a relationship that you once had. You've been there for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 2 years. All these years, you put so much into that, and now that's now dead. So how do you mourn that? And so, and go back to what V was saying, it's also where, that's where a lot of people, that's where the villain story starts for a lot of people. And that's the truth. That's the villain story. Now you mad. And now you want to go off on everybody because how you lied to me. The spirit didn't use you. You manipulated me. Spirit of God didn't tell you that. You knew about it and you took advantage of it. You heard it come. I watched. Now I'm gonna add this because I remember when I tell y'all they couldn't manipulate me. I can give y'all this story. I had my house and I had me and my cousin. She was staying with me at my house and our kids, my daughter, her daughter, and then. They had someone come and visit the church from who they met in Walmart. Okay. And this person is super spiritual, all of this stuff, very godly. And so the prophetess comes to the church and she says, y'all, I have this person I met. She's amazing. God used her to speak to me and And so now she comes to the church and this, I think she's a Caucasian lady, or she might be mixed with something, but not black, but mixed with another culture, another race. And so I'm like, okay. And the whole time my spirit was not taken to her. And I could see what everybody was like, oh, well, the prophetess said we got to do it. And the prophetess said, well, the prophetess trusts her, then we need to trust her. And I'm like, ugh. So now I became, again, more of a rebel. Because you said that don't mean I need to connect with her. That don't got nothing to do with me. That's your friend. And so this lady has now flipped the church upside down. And you could see where she's saying, I have property in this city and that's not too far from here. We all can move to these spaces and all these different houses, and I'm working with real estate, blah, blah, blah. So now the preaching is, we're going to move to a land filled with milk and honey and and some people going to be left behind and blah, blah. So I'm like, look at this. Okay. All right. Hallelujah. Okay. I'm here to preach. And then now I'm seeing the divide. So she's whispering to the pastor and the prophetess, and they're saying, V, you got the keys. I see the keys. And this person got the keys. They ain't never mentioned Keisha getting the keys. So Keisha looking like, well, damn, I'm getting left behind. The Holy Spirit ain't talking to y'all for me. So now this is not where you're creating that hurt. Like, what? And so I saw the divide happening. I saw when now the church is like kind of split. These people that's going to go and they getting high fives and and then other people on the side, they just sit like, whoa, what about us? And so I was one of those people. Yes, Ermi. I said, of course, I'm the pillar of the church is what I was told. You're the pillar. So of course the pillar of the church gonna get keys too. So now the preaching now it's just going on for like weeks. The preaching now is, you guys go ahead and start selling your stuff. Start selling your items, getting ready to move because you can't take your old stuff to the new space. Go ahead and sell your things. The voice told me, don't sell shit. Until you get keys in your hand, there's no promised land. Like what? And so, mind you, the pastor, the prophetess, the deacons, the armor bearers, all selling all their stuff, selling all of it. Ask me what Ermi sell. Ermi sold her daughter's bed because she was planning on getting her a twin bed. She had a little small baby bed. Give her sister a big bed. That's all. Because I don't see no papers. I don't see no keys. I ain't signed no lease. Nothing. Everybody's selling all their stuff. To the point where this lady has gone to now, this is going on for maybe, again, 2-3 months, maybe. She went on vacation to Cuba. And next thing you know, she ain't never show up back to work, back to the church. She went on vacation, but never showed back up. So I said, well, I ain't waiting. I'm not doing nothing until she bring me the deeds to the house. I'm not giving my keys. I'm waiting on the keys in order for me to move. That lady never came back. She even said the last day she was there, she said, Ermi, you ready to have, some movers move your stuff? I'm like, yeah, but I'm still waiting on the keys. Where's the key to the place? So I know give me the address or something. Everybody, listen, people were breaking their leases to move. They were given all these, they were given even the papers of what the houses were, where the locations where each person's house is going to be at. And so now that I remember, she did give me this is where you're going to live. So I drove to the place and I said, wait, I actually looked it up. No, I drove to the place and it's a gated community. I'm like, oh, I can't get in. Okay. So let me go ahead and look this up. And when I started to look it up, it was owned by people living in the house, y'all. Somebody owned the house, people living in the house. And I said, oh, she just bamboozled everybody. I said, where was the spirit? Where was the voice of the Lord? The voice of the Lord ain't tell y'all that this lady was here to scam everybody. So they end up asking me, Ermi, can we stay at your place until we move to another place? The pastor and the prophetess asked to move into my house. They said, and they started using scripture. And mind you, here I go. She's talking about something. In 2 Peter, they said that And first, so I'm like, so y'all try to use scriptures to try to convince me to get y'all to move. So I let them come in. I let them stay.
You let them stay?
I let them come in. Because remember, I'm still in church. I wasn't told to leave at that point. This is before I was told, the voice told me to leave. And so I let them stay in my space. And now Spirit say, I need you to watch what they do. I need you to pay attention. So pastor go to church, go to work. He has a regular job. And so the prophetess, she makes some breakfast and all that stuff. And then she goes into her closet and she's in prayer for from 8 a.m. to noon. She's in there, going in prayer. Again, I'm like, oh, okay, she's in prayer. But now, dinner time, everybody's home, and one of the sisters from the church, she comes to the house because she's so attached to their ass. But anyway, she's on her phone. And she's like, oh my God, look what V posted on Facebook. And they said, oh, let me see. So now they go and look at this girl phone to look at what V posted. They don't got no Facebook, but they're gonna see what V posted. And then lo and behold, Sunday, V's the topic. So now I'm like, oh, y'all really lying. Listen, I ain't even never mentioned this, y'all. I've seen so much in the church. But I'm like, oh, they really are seeking people information. They're not really, so now they're the topic of the church. Now they're topic of the Sunday's lesson, So I say all that to say this. I've learned a lot. Being in there, and it made me really understand who God is for me, or the energy, or now I'm like, dang, I'm screaming hallelujah, I'm screaming Jesus 10 times, and I feel like I just like a mounting energy. It feels mounted, like, but that's another story for another day. But now it's like, who was I calling on? Like, why was I rolling on the floor? Why was I being performative? Why was I, I'm over here laying on the ground looking at people around me like, so who gonna get up? Who gonna still be y'all have no idea. It's now I look at it, I can laugh about it. But I'm so glad I'm no longer in that space. And I think it's been maybe 7 years since I've been in church.
I'm just laughing at the chat. Like the chat is going insane with Ermi's story. One of the comments, Shara took me out with this. She said, not you living through the rapture.
I'm actually sitting here thinking, damn, this is the pre-rapture. People selling their stuff. I mean, because ever since I was little, and I'm 53, I know we done had about 8 raptures. It might be more than that. I mean, because every time the weather change or the trees move a certain way, my grandmother would say, time winding up. And I mean, that's what they would say. But I wanted to make a point, Ermi, and I've been thinking about this. I think church hurt, that term, is just another form of gaslighting. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not accepting accountability for what this particular organization has done, then how can you be spiritually growing as a leader? And then I think that a lot of people, especially people in the Black community, rely so heavily on religion because they're afraid to be without it. Where would I be? Who would help me? What would I ask for, advice? And failing to realize it's here. Your team is here. So you're still relying on these external forces. And I think that's why they are so, the reason they're able to keep our people locked up in these ideologies, this harmful theology that causes harm not only to the individual, but the community as a whole. That's just my opinion about that. And that story you told just confirmed for me everything I feel about the church. Don't ask me for no money. Get a job. Do what you tell us to do.
We talked about this in my Intuition Ignited class, and I know you were taking that class, and that's where we really, really dug deep into. And Keisha, I don't think you were in the same class with V. I think y'all were at 2 different classes.
Yeah, we were in different classes, but I took it as well.
So we talked about that heavily. And one thing that I mentioned too is that, like what V said, but it also stemmed back to the generational stuff, all that generational shit. It just keep being passed down. So, and I don't want to tap into it a little bit, but I guess I can. When we had the colonization of like the colonizers come and they just beat it down, beat it in us, beat it in our ancestors. You watch, or a great grandmother watch her husband get murdered or unalived because he was trying to be defiant. And then you have the master sitting in the church house watching you, making sure you don't teach anything about rebellion and fighting for your life and fighting as a community. Instead of fighting together as a community, we break each other down. You better not do that because master not gonna like that. Or we not listen. If you gonna go out by yourself because I don't need my children to see this, and you gonna go ahead and you gonna go to hell. It's all fearmonger, it's all control, it's all let's keep my foot on your neck so you never grow. And like you said, V, it really is it's a lot of spiritual bypassing, it's a lot. Again, we are no longer in that space, y'all. We could be so free from that. And you can
Right.
create trait in your church in your own way, but to say that you can't and you can't, it's because that was instilled in you from your great 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 grandfather who was a slave, who was told you they can't, who he saw his brother get killed because they tried to make an escape route and then they got caught, and now the brother was made an example, and now that is that's mind conditioning, you guys. If you see your brother get unalived by the master or his workers, and then you watching your brother gets he's swinging from a tree, you definitely not gonna try to escape now. So
No,
that's
I
just a
and I literally
conditioning.
just spoke on it because my grandfather, I was talking to some young ladies about it recently. My grandfather died with that fear. My grandfather, I took care of him, and when I was looking for my house, he was sitting on the porch at the house we were looking at. And I could tell he was uneasy. And I asked him, I said, Granddad, I said, what's wrong? You don't like the house? He said, no, the house nice. But he tapped his cane and he pointed down the street and told me to look. And it was Caucasian people out there. And then he pointed to the tree, the mature tree that was in the yard. And he said, you see that and you see that? I ain't comfortable here. And I was like, it blew me away because I'm like, even in his age, at that time he was 78, 79, but even at his age, he still had that trauma rooted in him.
Yep. And it's sad because all they do is pass it along. Somebody got to do it. They say generational curse breaker. Somebody got to break it. Break that from you can't break. First of all, a baby, it's a clean slate. Okay, they're a clean slate. But then when you start to teach them, you're teaching them all the stuff that you were taught. And then as you have different experiences with church, you're going to teach them, all right, well, you got to make sure your dress is a certain length. You got to put the veil on your head because that's what we do. You got to keep your legs crossed and keep your arms folded. You got to, where's your Bible? You need to have your Bible every Sunday. Where's that purse? You're supposed to look a certain way when you go to church. You better not leave that purse because you know the pastor going to talk about you and the pastor, why? It's too much. Let your kids be kids. And in that same church, they had the kids walking around the church. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. The church I went to, had all the little children walking in circles saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. What mine was that? Ask me what mine was at.
What was yours at, Ermi?
Sitting right next to me, because we're not doing that. This is performative. We're not finna do this to my kids. They're not finna be walking around talking about hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah over and over and over. What does that do? It does nothing. It does nothing. All you're doing is putting it in their brain that this is normal. That is not normal. Sit your hind John Cott right here. Sit your behind right hind John Brown. Sit your ass right here. And I want somebody to come and ask me why they not doing it.
Oh, I really brought back some memories.
Keisha, it's friend still friend.
I just want to touch on something Keisha said real quick because it's so insidious how religion works in the Black community. You can go to almost every systemic issue within our community, and it could trace back to the root of religion. Yep. They even had a separate Bible for the slaves to promote submissiveness. And that respectability politics didn't protect us then, and it's not going to protect us now. But you could not make the elders in the church believe that. They have whole Sunday scriptures on how to teach the children how to behave in mixed company so they don't embarrass us. Right. They are not allowed to be themselves. And then you look at another thing that the Bible directly attacks. It attacks what we came from. Our ancestors came from, the religions, the practices they brought here. They added whole sections to attack that. So you now you see all these people on TikTok. Yeah, you don't be talking to your ancestors because they're demonic and this and that. I'm like,
because it's brainwashed.
Machine making that sweet potato pie that y'all ate every Sunday. Now all of a sudden your ancestors demonic. It just be blowing me how we just, what's the word? Cognitive dissonance. Like we just so disconnected from how these two things. Because you got to ask yourself, why wouldn't they want me to connect to my ancestors? Exactly. Why wouldn't they want me to be able to talk to my own spirit team? Why wouldn't they want me to believe in all of the things that can really enrich us?
Yeah, you made me so proud.
I just don't think we ask the right questions. We need to go deeper, because when somebody consistently try to make you believe a thing, you need to look at the thing. Yep. It's like a magician. Don't look at this hand. Look over here, because it's all that misdirection. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah.
Yep.
I
I agree
had
with
some
that.
more freedom because
Yep.
true freedom is here. And
Right.
it's no secret that my son is incarcerated. I'm not embarrassed to say that, but I
Right.
tell him all the time, your body locked up.
Right. But your
Your mind
mind.
is
Come
where your
on,
freedom is.
V. Come
And as long as
on.
they can't take this, no matter what cage they put around you, you
Yep.
free.
Yep.
Of course,
Yep.
I ain't the one serving time, but I'm just trying to make
No,
him
but
understand that
yep.
part of that system is to break you here.
Yes.
Because then they're gonna keep bringing your body back to this physical cage when they break you here.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get him to that
Yeah.
point. And so many of our people, and I'm not gonna say young people because I meet people my age and
Mhm.
older all the time who have been locked up their entire life.
Yep.
That's my
Yep.
word on that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
sort.
that was exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly that's what's happening. As long and I say it 1,000,001 times. Y'all know my favorite saying: "Whoever controls your mind controls you."
Exactly.
Whoever controls your mind controls you. They running your show. They know how to. They're the puppet master. They know how to manipulate you. And like you said, V, the Bible. There's so many different Bibles, but they have one specifically for the slave. And they had one person that could read, one slave that could read, and then the master would sit there to make sure that the one that can read ain't saying nothing about mental freedom. Emancipate yourself from mental. That's what Bob Marley said. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. But people are just like, oh, okay, one love. Well, y'all ain't hearing what he's saying? Listen to the words. Listen to the words, not just the chorus part. Listen to he's trying to it's again, V, 100%. It's a cage. It's a cage. But is your mind free? If people can remote view other places, you can do it too. You can go and see some other shit too. You can have paradise in your mind.
And I think for me, when I was in your class, because I just really had it locked in my head, I was like, I'm gonna be the first person in mediumship that don't tap in. I just had it locked in my mind that it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the first one. But what I realized, and the more I talk to spirit now, the biggest hurdle I have are the belief systems that I grew up with. When I get past that, everything starts flowing and opening, and spirit really can talk to me, can really lead me and guide me. And I'll be thinking, sometimes it'd be so clear, I'll be like, am I making this up? Is this all in my head? But learning to trust yourself, because the first thing the church teach you, and I don't care who get mad when I say this, it's the truth. They teach you not to trust yourself.
Not to trust you. Up.
And when they teach you not to trust yourself, everything that flow behind that lead back to them. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they know. It's almost like it's this, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it just seems odd to me
but
that
that's
the church.
That's
So
fact. That's what they build it on. So disconnect you from yourself. They knew what they were doing when they constructed religion. That's the basis of it. It's just rooted so heavily. It's like, for instance, with teaching a baby a language. When you have that baby don't know when it come out I'm gonna be speaking French or Swahili or this or that. That baby is conditioned and trained to speak that language.
Exactly.
And that's exactly, like, I was rooted heavily in the church. So when Ermi was speaking about the children saying hallelujah, I saw myself getting a whooping for not wanting to put on my stockings in my slip. Like, that was mandatory. And I hated them things. But it was mandatory to go up in that church. So that's why I started to laugh when Ermi said it, because it still triggers me, even though I've deconstructed from religion. Those memories still reside in my conscious, in my memory.
It's embedded in there.
Exactly. It's embedded in there. And so, yes, we want people to deconstruct from religion, but think of the mental turmoil that religion has put on them. It's a process. It's a process. And so I just find myself giving people grace. Now, I agree wholeheartedly with you, V. They have to take that accountability. I had to take that accountability. Once my eyes opened, I couldn't unsee what I saw. And it was like, okay, now this shit on you. You got to fix this. But a lot of people don't have that intellectual capacity to do it. I've seen people walk away from the church and go into spiritual psychosis, because we got to be honest, this spiritual psychosis is real. You Anything you do too much of can cause an imbalance in you. And so I've seen people walk away from the church and go spiritual, and now I'm like, baby, maybe you should have stayed in the church, because I'm like, you not all the way there. So it's a balance with everything. But I think we need to, we have to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. And it's a generational thing. It's encoded in our DNA, especially if you from Black America. You know, they talk about how other melanated people don't like us. But in my book, we are the strongest, because we had to build something out of nothing. They had a foundation. They had their roots, their rituals, their culture. We didn't. It was stripped away from us, stripped away from our ancestors. We had to build something out of nothing.
That's why
So in
I
my
mentioned
eyes,
voodoo.
Black America is the strongest,
Yeah,
because
and
we
that's
stood
why I
on
mentioned
business.
exactly, and that's why I mentioned hoodoo in class, because they still did their rituals, they still did their practices, but they had to hide it in the church. And that's why a lot of people don't understand as far as the hoodoo traditions. A lot of people don't understand it. They're like, "Oh, I don't do the hoodoo." Yes, you do. You've been doing it. Let me make you aware of how you've been doing it. It's all about putting it in their face. Some people don't think that they do hoodoo. Y'all literally do hoodoo all the time. Every year, y'all get y'all black eyed peas, y'all cooking y'all. That's all hoodoo. That's still rooted in voodoo. That's still rooted in Santeria. That's still rooted in the African traditions. It's still rooted in that. But even though it's covered up a little bit, make it a little, because you got to hide it from the master. You got to hide it from master. You still gonna do your stuff, but you had to hide it. You still doing it under the church, but you did it through the church, but still doing the thing. And a lot of people don't realize that. Bro, I don't be doing no hoodoo. Yes, you do. I don't do no voodoo. Yes, you do.
Listen,
You just don't realize you're doing it. Remember the example I gave you guys with the ushers in the church, and when it's communion time and they wore all white. And remember I told you they wore gloves. And why would they wear gloves? Let me see if y'all remember. Why would the people wear gloves?
No, I remember why the slaves wore gloves in church, but I can't remember if it was tied into hoodoo. I know the slaves used to be forced to wear gloves when they took up the offering for the master, so they could tell that they went inside
That's
the pantry.
Yeah. So they're not eating, because it's not for y'all, it's for them. So so they're not eating the things. And so we have brought it into our culture and our hoodoo culture or Black churches. They doing communion and they wear white gloves. They got on all white. It's another way to say, make sure they're not eating our stuff. Make sure they're not eating our crack. They're not touching none of our stuff. You're not supposed to eat, slave girl.
But in church, I was taught that it was a form of purification. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's why they be skipping on the chicken. Don't want to give no damn chicken when you go to after church. They be knowing they got all that chicken back there in the kitchen, but can't nobody get
smelling good.
Take it home, Miss B.
I'm just saying.
You can smell it. You can smell it in the back.
Yeah. And you know what? I had a client, and I talked about this yesterday, because I try to be respectful of Christians, because everybody's at a different place and walk in their journey, right? But they are, aside from Muslims who be standing on the corner with their bean pies and stuff, but they don't come to you. You got to go to them. Christians, the only faith that feel comfortable enough to come knock on your door at 6:00 in on Saturday morning and try to talk to you about God. They feel like at any avenue event, they feel so comfortable to start questioning your motives. Now I'm on the phone with a client, and I said happy holidays, because I feel like that encompasses everybody, right? I got a 32-minute sermon.
Oh my God.
This man went and got his damn Bible and start reading scripture on the phone call to tell me why I'm not pleasing the Heavenly Father, his words. I feel like it feels so, I feel so violated when I have to be forced in situations to let you walk all over my belief system. And they feel entitled to do that. I feel like it's not they try to make it like people who are in a spiritual place are just coming after Christians. We coming after their beliefs. We coming after.
We're not.
They don't know their place. And I just feel like it goes hand in hand with that entitlement to people, to their bodies, their labor, You know, it's all. How do you think we ended up with Jim Jones? I hate to be jumping around, but every time I think about that, I think about, because I hear people say all the time, how did that happen? You can look at today's church, even 30, 40 years later, and see how exactly how that happened. You had one man convince a whole lot of grown ass people that the rapture would happen on a certain day.
So think about how many other churches do that now. They still doing it. They just not helping them unalive themselves, but they're still doing it.
And let's talk about this, Ms. B. You spoke on how the Jehovah Witness will come to your door and knock on your door at 6 o'clock in the morning, because that's Jehovah Witness that do that. They always at your door. But let's talk about the other religions that don't like them, and they all are under the same umbrella of Christian. Baptist, my grandmama was Baptist, Southern Baptist. Let a Jehovah Witness come to that door. Southern, yes. Missionary Baptist Church.
Same.
But we got 800 Baptists. Go ahead.
It's the truth. And my mom would be like, don't open it though.
Don't open it though.
Why? They still talking about the coming of the Lord. Ain't you talking about that too? But you don't. So your religion, your part don't match theirs. So it also, people don't understand that. That's because it shows you how made up it is. Okay, let me go ahead. Today, I can go ahead and make the religion of Ermi. And we're going to talk about Christ is coming. And we're going to talk about all the things. And how many people going to believe me? I'm very convincible. I can convince a lot of people. I'm very influential. I can pretty much convince a lot of people to follow me. Lay down your cross and come follow me. Walk away from everything and come follow me, because now you're going to be under the religion of Ermi. Let's do the religion of Ermi. Let's go do some mudras. Your church ain't doing mudras, but I'm doing mudras. Your church ain't sipping on Batanura, but they sipping on Welch's grape juice. Because I say, this is what I want y'all to do for me. I want y'all to drink Batanura every week. Like, I can create my own church, but it's also sounding like a cult. I'm creating my own cult. It is all, listen, I'm laughing on the inside, but that's what people be doing for real.
You already got your first member in the audience, Ermi.
Hell, Ermi. But think about it, because it can be 3 churches on one corner. The Holiness Church, the Church of God in Christ, the Baptist Holiness of the Nazarene Church on the same corner. Why we can't just come together and just make one? Now everybody fighting to have the most members. It go back to how much of a business it is, and how much of a business it is, and almost as much as me saying whoever controls your mind controls you. It's really like, well, I can teach you better than V. My church better than hers. What? Oh, my church is better than Keisha. Don't go to that church because they be wearing skirts over there. I'll let you come as you are. What?
Yep. And then making up 8 holidays so they can have a church sale, some sort of anniversary. And if you ever been to a business meeting at the church, which I happen to be a part of, the way that they decide how they budget their money, guys, they're no better than any other corporation.
Right.
We had a member that had been a member at the church for 60 plus years. He passed away. We had a whole meeting about it, y'all. You know how much money we gave his family? After 60 plus years of paying tithes and offerings, we gave $200 to the repast. And we charged them to use the church because he was behind on his tithes. Listen, I am not making this up.
I believe you.
I have seen it happen so many times because it is a business. Just like when we used to go sing. And I had an attitude about it because they was telling us they weren't going to run the church van anymore. And we had to worry about how to get to all these places. Well, listen, the pastor getting paid, the damn musician getting paid. I'm singing all the songs. You ain't paying me shit. So you better make sure I got to ride there and ride home.
You ain't lying, Miss B, because with my brother and my grandfather. Now, let me go back to my granddaddy. He all up in this thing today. My granddaddy and my grandmother paid tithes before they paid bills. My granddaddy, after my grandmother passed away, was putting all his money in the church to the point where a usher came to me and said, take your granddaddy a while before he come to church, because he paying all the bills in here. I'm talking about dumping it. You know, my grandfather had a lump sum after my grandmother passed away. He just dumping it in the collection plate. And I started to wonder why the pastor started saying, hey, Alonzo. My granddad's damn name ain't no Alonzo. It's Angelo. And he been here my whole entire life, and you don't know his damn name.
Keisha, that is so messed up.
But it
This is
gets
so
better.
good.
It gets better. Now he done paid all these bills. He done bought this roof 3, 4 times in this church. When I got ready to bury my grandfather, I was charged $450 to utilize the church and for the repast to be at the church. And I only did it because I wanted to honor my grandfather's memory. That's what he requested. The day before the service, I couldn't use the repast hall, but I still had to pay the $450. So I had to rush and find another place for the repast, pay out additional money for that. Can I get some of my $450 back? You think I got some of my $450 back?
Mm-mm.
And with my brother, because my brother moved out of town, we was baptized, born, raised up in his church. But because he moved out of the state before he passed away, they wanted me to pay $750 for my brother's funeral. So we had his at a whole nother location because you got me fucked up. In the best way possible, I can say that to a church person. So
Yeah,
Well,
it's definitely money based
motivated.
business, but yeah, money motivated, business based, because again, they can go and get a 501(c) and keep all the money because it's a charity at this point, but it's also a business. You know, so they got to pay the bills. They got to pay don't forget, we got to pay the pastor. Let's go ahead and get remember, in your word said you get double honor for honoring your pastor. You get double honor for, we will hear all of that. We will hear all of that. And in the second breath, the same pastor that we're double honoring is not honoring us at all as the members of the church. They don't even know your name. That's crazy. Calling him Alonzo. That's crazy.
Don't even know his name. And when I say they raised my mom in this church, my grandmother and grandfather was raised in this church. So he been here probably longer than you, and you don't know to call this man, or even the audacity to ask him what's his correct name.
Mm-hmm.
You just making up stuff, and it's insane. It was insane, but
yeah, and I would say for me, the best part that I was like, got him. And I think I said it's on my live where I had to, the voice of God at that point, that was what for me, the voice of the Holy Ghost was telling me to tell them, don't give them no more money. Don't give them no more money. Go out there, talk to them, go tell them I said, don't give you no more money. So I said, the Spirit of the Lord, because that's what they always say. The Spirit of the Lord told me. Okay, the Spirit of the Lord told me to not give y'all no more money. No more love offerings. And one of them, the prophetess, she was literally telling me, because every time they got a love offering to give to somebody in the church every single Sunday. And so it got to the point where they're like, okay, we can Cash App. Anybody got Cash App? But I was like, I don't have no money. And so I got told, Sister Ermi, you need to make sure you keep money in your pocket. I was that's why I say, yeah, this is over. Because now I see what it is.
When you first started hearing this voice, when you were still in the church, was that your spirit? Was that spirit and your team talking to you, and you just thought it was God? Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep, because when I got pushed out, when I was told to leave, because remember, that's why Spirit put me in the church in the first place, to learn the voice. To learn their voice, to understand what that voice was. Because now, before I was even in church, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, I'm hearing voices all the time. What the hell? I'm hearing here, go there, I'm here. So it was confusing to me. And then they say, I was hearing, go to that church, go to that church, go to that church, go to pastor, go to this pastor, go to the pastor. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me just go to because I listened to that at that point. And then it was where I was divorcing my ex-husband, and it kind of pushed me there. So I'm learning to be there. I'm learning all the things, the rituals, what they do. I'm learning all, but I'm also learning the voice, because that's one thing they did teach. My sheep know my voice, a stranger will not follow. So I took that literal, and I said, oh, let me hear the voice. Let me hear your voice, God. Let me hear your voice. Because they also was listening to the voice. They was also listening. So they could see the power in certain people, but they didn't build it. So if I see the power in you, V, I just know you got power. I'm not going to tell you got power, because I'm supposed to be the main power. I'm supposed to be the head bitch in charge. You're not supposed to be more powerful than me. And so I was seeing more, and I was getting visions. I was having open visions. I'm sitting in the church and I'm having another open vision. I keep seeing different things happening in the church. And so when I got pushed out, I was like, oh my God, because they did a lot of that fear mongering. Oh, you're going to backslide if you leave. You're going to be stripped. I used to hear that so many times. You're gonna be stripped. God gonna strip you or everything. And again, that was another way of, oh shit, I'm getting $50 an hour at my job. Damn, God, you gonna strip me because I don't feel like going to church today? Like that don't make sense to me. I'm gonna be stripped because I don't agree with this person. I'm gonna be like, so some of that stuff was not making sense to me. In my own eyes, I remember seeing one person walking out of the church, and when she left, thank you guys for the gifts and things. When she left, on the mic, they said, let her leave. And if she ever talk about such and such ministry, everything she touches gonna fall. They did a whole spell in front of me. They casted a spell on this girl's life in front of me. So it was necessary for me to be there in those 3 years to learn, download, pay attention, watch how they move, watch what they say, learn the things, Ermi, because what you're about to see next is when you get out of here, those things are still relevant. Those things, people do cast spells. Now you need to understand how spells work. People do half of those things, and they was doing it, but now I can see it on the outside. That same voice that was saying, pay attention, was telling me the same thing when I left the church. I said, this is the same voice. I was like, okay, Holy Ghost, I can't find my right shoe. Help me find my right shoe. So that was me in the church. While I was in church, help me find my right shoe. And I would hear, it's by the door or whatever. And now I'm outside, and I was like, okay, Holy Ghost, help me find my keys. And I would hear, your keys are here. Now I'm no longer calling the energy Holy Ghost, because now I'm learning, wait, spirit guides, hold on, what the angels, ancestors, what are y'all talking about? So they had to get me out of there for me to know that, no, you just touching the surface, Ermi. Now you about to see some more shit. You think you saw stuff in here? Don't worry about the church shit, because that's little. That's the little shit. Let me show you some bigger shit. Let me show you bigger fish to fry. Let me show you where you're about to go. Let me show you the people that are called to you. These people were telling me while I was in church, you're going to be speaking in stadiums. These people going to be watching. You're going to be preaching. I don't want that. I ain't finna be preaching shit. What you talking about? So they already see where the greatness of what I'm going to do, but they seeing it in a church setting. I'm not trying to be nobody, no pastor's wife. No, you're not setting me up with Bishop such as. I don't want him, because he's the most grimiest, dirtiest, muckiest, greediest, nastiest person I've ever met. Some of these pastors are gross. They are disgusting. They are nasty. They are freaks. They are worse than y'all. Listen, I can tell y'all many stories about these nasty ass pastors. They go like, ooh, Sister Ermi, you're beautiful. And then in my head, I could see the nastiness. I could see the S&M. I could see all the shit. And I'm throwing S&M in there because they was doing that shit. Yeah. What you said, V? V, what you say?
Have you ever been swallowed? That's all I have to think about when you was talking.
But I say all that to say this. That was not my portion.
V.
That was not my portion. So people will say what they want for you to do unconsciously. If I was still manipulated, I'm like, yes, that's gonna be me. Yes, that's my story. I receive it. I say, I don't receive none of that. That ain't. I don't want to do that. That's not my. Yeah, I know y'all can see, but I can see too. Mm-hmm. And that's not my portion. I don't.
You know what happened to me though, Ermi? It was different for me in the church. I know now that they saw my gifts. And so they tried to literally break me down as a person. Mm-hmm. I used to get told all kind of things. Like I was just this wayward child. I graduated with a 4.0. I stayed in the house to read books. That was my favorite pastime thing to do. So I was not a wayward child, but they came to me like I was a wayward child. And it took for this old lady that lived around the corner from the church that was not allowed to come to the church because they said that she was a witch. Mm-hmm. But she told me, I'll never forget it. I was about 13 years old. She said, don't let them kill your gifts. Mm. And that stuck with me. I'm 41 now, but that lady stuck with me throughout my whole life because she saw what they were trying to do to me. They were trying to break me to keep me from tapping in to my gifts.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way with you. I feel the same. The pastor at the time, it was his wife who was the prophetess. So she saw in me. He saw it too because he was very prophetic, but she saw it and she had to be the head bitch in charge. She had to be the one running the show. She had to be. It's only her. Mind you, you got many people that's like hungry and that's developing. You could, I probably would have still, no, I don't think I would have been there. But still, if she developed us with our gifts and our abilities and all, we would have been straight. We would have been okay. And then the voice would have told us, get your ass out of here. But no, she's the only one that's supposed to run the show. She's the only one. Listen, I remember singing whatever song I was singing. I don't even remember all the songs now. But I remember walking, pacing, singing. And this every time I sing, when I do praise and worship, I'm singing like nobody else is in the room. Because I'm like, it's me and you, God. God, I am. You're more. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. And I remember having closing my eyes. And then I turn over my eyes and I see the pastor. And he's prostrated. He's crying. And he's in the spirit. The spirit is all over him. And she's holding him up. And she's looking at me like, what the fuck you doing to my husband? That's what it was looking at. And instead of saying, keep going. Yes, girl. Oh, yes. Let the spirit use you. She looking at me like, the fuck you, how are you affecting him?
Mm-hmm.
So she was a very jealous woman. Mind you, she's beautiful, gorgeous. And then when I left the church, I started to learn about their story because things wasn't adding up. She was married to a whole nother man and he was a drummer.
Child.
And he was the best friend of her husband.
Child. So, ain't no church gossip like, ain't no gossip like church gossip.
Church gossip.
Them people be hooking up more than strippers and pimps. I'm trying to tell you.
And I said, how dare her? How dare she? I don't want your husband. I do not want your husband. You might have had other people. Because the thing is, I don't want your husband because you took somebody else's husband. He was married to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you checking every person. And somebody come in the church, she's like, Ermi, oh, we got to pray because Sister V, she started coming. I see her looking at, I had a dream about her looking at me. No, it's you. You're, because you know how you got him. And now you think everybody else gonna do the same thing. Now you're afraid that you're, girl, nobody want him. Exactly. I see the way he talked to you. I don't want nobody talking to me. Remember, they lived in my house. I see how he talked to you. I don't want him nowhere near me. Very nice guy though, but I see how he talked to you. I see how you're at his beck and call. But then I see you also project your shit onto the people in the art. I remember I was like, damn, I'm over here singing. I went on a date. I remember I went on a date and I was like, dang, oh my God, God, forgive me. You know, I don't went on a date and I'm supposed to be just being dedicated to you. And I sat myself down because I was like, I felt like I sinned before the Lord. You go sit down. And she walks up to me. She said, what are you doing? I said, oh, I was sinning. I can't sing in my fullness of God and the glory of God. I can't. She told me, but I didn't tell you to sit down. So I said, huh? So you mean to tell me that shit was bullshit too? Because you still want me to go and sing okay. So it was like I was literally learning how to debunk a lot of the shit that they were saying. Mm-hmm. In those 3 years, I debunked so much. I'm like, wait, so it's okay. It's good for the goose, but not for... What the fuck you mean? What? So no? So I can go up there. So when you be preaching, tell me something, you're sinful and you need to repent. But it don't mean me though. It don't mean your favorite. It don't mean that person. You pick and choose who you want. I wasn't on that.
Ding, 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 ding. That's it, exactly.
Ermi, you gotta take a moment and shout out King, Rita's son, because he just gifting you and loving you all through the chat.
Oh, thank you, King, my love. I see Rita, that's Rita's daughter. He's Rita's daughter.
He's on her page.
Oh, hey, King, my love. How are you? Thank you for putting hearts in the chat. Thank you for the hearts, King. Thank you.
The chat for you. I said, no, we got to give him his special shout out.
Thank you, King. I love you. He smiled so hard when you said his name, Keisha. Oh, thank you, King. Yeah. Keep tapping the screen, King. Share it to all your sister friends.
And if anybody in the chat has a question for Ermi, feel free to put the question in the chat. We'll try to get to that. I had a question for Ermi.
Okay.
Now, one of the things I remember about taking your class, and this is also because I had a bad experience in a classroom with another teacher. I know that there were a lot of people that were upset that you weren't gatekeeping mediumship. I'd like, like they didn't think that you should be teaching people how to use their gifts, how to use their abilities, develop their abilities. Can you speak to that and how you think that has impacted specifically the Black spiritual spaces on these social media apps?
Okay, so what I think, first of all, yes, I'm definitely not a gatekeeper. I'm so not a gatekeeper. I feel like the knowledge is out there. It's just who gives it to you. The knowledge is there. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. If Spirit say you the teacher, teach them everything. Teach them everything. And so that's what I want to do. But a lot of people still have that enslavement mentality. That's my information. That's my thing. You shouldn't have. There's still that colonized mindset. Like you shouldn't be knowing that. How do you know how to tap into it? How do you? I'm not with that. I'm more of everybody. We're all human. We have an experience. So again, a lot of people don't realize this is just opening the one of those doors for them to see. But there are many doors. And so it's you have it, and you already know again from the class. That's why we talk about journey of souls. Like if you understand this is so like this shit ain't real. None of this shit real for real. To be honest, none of this shit is real for real. You just coming to live your life as V, as Keisha. You came this time as Keisha. You just came this time as King. You just came this time as Rita. But when you transition, none of this shit don't matter. Religion doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters. So when it comes to mediumship, I feel like you tapping in so you can know that, oh man, it's way bigger than this. This is way more than this. Why would I keep that to myself? I get the energy exchange. I don't mind doing the energy. I get it now. Okay, energy exchange. Because again, coming from the church, they wasn't teaching that. They was teaching let me take, and then recycling some of the same 10 Bible verses over and over. Like, come on now, it got to be more than this. And that's why my spirit team said, get out, because they're not teaching you nothing else. Because that's all they know. That's all they know. So religion is like a shackle to knowledge. They say, study to show thyself approved, but what are they studying? They just keep studying the Bible. They're not studying other stuff. They're not putting themselves out there. So when Spirit pulled me out, Spirit said, mind you, I want to say maybe a year before I actually left, I kept seeing the Bible verses. I will show you I will show you the mysterious things of me. I will show you the window. I will open up the windows of heaven where you have no room to I said, I don't have no room to receive it. I have room. I make room. Give it to me. I make all the room. So a lot of the Bible verses I kind of shifted a little bit so where it's pouring back into me, and with my gifts making room for me going and helping other people, that is the room that's created. It's opening up more room. So when I see people say, oh, you can't teach mediumship. Okay, girl, I don't even lend myself to argue with that, because you don't what is the other word? You don't don't cast your pearls to swine. If people are not ready to hear about it, if you have something beautiful and you're holding on to something beautiful, why give it to them when they're not going to receive it anyway? What are they going to do with it? What swine do? They eat it? They throw it back in the mud? They don't honor or they don't cherish what that piece of information or knowledge is anyway. Even if they know the knowledge, that's on them to deal with it, because that's the selfishness of them. They're not growing anybody else by keeping it to themselves. I get it. I have to do Spirit told me, okay, you need to start charging for these classes, because it's also an energy exchange, because we're not making you go back to work. You're not going back to work, Ermi. You're not going to go be the nurse getting $50 an hour no more. No, you got to be here. I said, well, damn, Spirit, will pay my bills then. And so Spirit say, well, let me show you how I'm going to get you to understand your bills are being paid. And when I had one of my first, not my first one, and the first year of me doing readings, somebody gifted or tipped me a large amount. It was way more than the reading, and I was like, wait, what? And so Spirit said, you said your gift not making room for you. Here is the room. So now you can go and put some food on your table. Now you can go and get that tire fixed. Now you can go and I'm not saying I was broke. I'm not saying that, but it's just Spirit was showing me, allow people to pour into, let people bless you. Let people bless you. Don't think that you're not worthy of being blessed. And so when people are withholding that, I feel like they are not allowing the more to come. That's more of a gatekeeping, preventing the beautiful things. And they don't even know who's waiting to be their next sitter. It could be freaking Barack Obama that say, man, that was so good. I'm so glad you taught me this. Let me give you this $100,000 as a blessing. That's a drop in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? That's a drop in the bucket for what I have. But let me give it to you, because Spirit told me to give it to you because you taught me how to do this. I look at it as the blessings gonna come. Go ahead, V.
I want to ask you one more question about it. And Jazzy had a question before I forget. How do you decipher good or real mediums from fake ones? But before you answer her question, do you think a lot of the mediums or spiritual people that gatekeep knowledge are doing so from the old practices from the church? Because it seems like they're bringing over the Christian ideals into spiritual spaces.
I agree. I think that's what it is. I agree. And remember, I said that's that colonized mindset.
Colonized. Mm-hmm.
You still holding on to that colonized mindset. You still holding on to, well, that's my church. This master only gave me this piece of chicken, and I can't share it with nobody else. Because if I give it to you, you gonna walk around with the bone, and he gonna want to know where the bone came from, and he only gave it to me. I gotta keep it to myself. I'm gonna eat the fruit of this. It's more of that. And I had to use master, but I have to use that as an example for people to understand. This is for me. I can't share it with nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit themselves, because now spirit is only giving them certain, a few sitters that come around. Where somebody like me who say, let me give you all the tea. I rather you know everything than know nothing. And then my name is attached to it. So they're gonna be like, Ermi ain't teach me shit. What the hell? No, Ermi gave you everything. And so now my name is gonna be carried. It's holding a little bit of weight because I actually taught you everything. Everything I know, I'm gonna give it to you. And so now when people say, oh, Ermi, I have people say, oh, you always talk about, somebody told me, oh, you always talk about Ermi. Who the hell is this Ermi with certificates? That's not but jealousy. That's something that person has to deal with because they're afraid to do what I'm doing. And I don't want people to do what I'm doing. You do what you want to do. But don't try to muddy me up because you scared. I don't give a fuck about you being scared. But don't drag my name through nothing. Because I'm coming out here with purity. I'm coming out here with authenticity. I'm coming out here just being real and say, hold on, you want to wake up? Come on. Let me show you what I know so you can wake up. At least if you wake up enough to where you connect with spirits in the classroom, but now you can go be the politician that you were called to be. Now you can go be the best CEO that you're called to be. Now you can go do the shit that you were scared to do because now you're no longer afraid. Oh, I forgot KJ's in the chat. Sorry, KJ. I'm over here cussing the storm.
But you know what? You're right, Ermi. But also, not just them gatekeeping because it's intentional. Sometimes it's unintentional. It's unintentional because they could be operating in that lack and survival mode, but they not realizing you teaching about abundance. But yeah, abundance is unlimited. But yet you still haven't connected that in your mind. You withholding this information, thinking, okay, if I give this information to them, they're gonna go and make more money than me. That's a lack and survival mindset.
Yep.
So
yep. And they don't want anybody to see. They don't want people. Some people are trained to not want people to do better than them because they have their toxic competition within their own families. So their mom may have been a toxic competitor to them and taught them, you can't do that. You never gonna amount to nothing. Look at you. You're black and you're ugly. Look at you. You're white and you're fat. Look at you. You ain't shit. I'm just saying.
Really.
But think about it. That's a lot of conditioning.
You're absolutely right, because you think about people that I heard this guy say before that if you were raised you were raised eating off of a knife versus somebody that was raised eating off of a spoon. They're gonna view eating differently just because of that experience. And as somebody who grew up on the knife, I can tell you that's a fact. It took me a long time to work through things that, and I hear people say it like in a funny way. I can't help it if you ain't had two parents at home that love you. They be saying shit like that, but it really do change how you view the same issues. And it takes a lot of work for you to get through that trauma, that grief, and get to the other side of who you really can be. And I think when we talk about the grieving process, we focus a lot on the ones that have transitioned. But there are so many forms of grief for different things that we have to work through in order for us to be able to talk the spirit we need to. And it's not that spirit not talking to us, because this is what I learned. They were talking to me the whole time. I was the one that could not trust myself enough to know that, hey, spirit is trying to communicate with me. So that I like that. And let me, Ermi, can you answer Jazzy's question? Because I asked it, how do you tell that I done lost the question?
Random Panda, this is their podcast. This is the Key and V podcast, and I'm their guest tonight. Welcome everybody that's popping in. I'm just in this box because they put me over here, but these are the hosts. I'm just a guest today.
Everybody, yes, this is Spiritual Tea with V and Key. We have an episode every Sunday. Today, Ermi was gracious enough to be our guest. Our topic is Unchurched and Unlocked, Ermi's Path to Purpose. So we've talked about quite a few things that happened after the deconstructing. We're getting more now into where she is in her journey as a medium, a mentor, a teacher. The list go on and on and on. I'm not gonna go through my whole bio again now, but just know she the shit. And we ain't here to talk about how she the shit. Okay, that's the topic. So Jazzy had a question. She was asking, how do you tell the difference between a good medium, I think it was, or a fake one? Does anybody see the question?
Yeah, you said it right. That's how she asked it.
Okay. So for me, so period and the shit. Hey, Cedar. Hey, everybody that's coming in. Hey, Aaron. All right. So what I see as a good medium is somebody that, okay, I feel like everybody is good in their own right. Okay. Coming on here and being on here, at least trying, that's good for me. You trying. Okay. But when I see somebody that is very vague with their information, they haven't really brought any evidence. Like, give me something that I need to know, something that I know you don't know, but this is something that I know for sure that nobody else knows. That to me would be like a really good medium. That would be somebody that pushes themselves to get those key points, those key information, or key details about any reading or whatever reading they do. But again, I think everybody's good in their own right. It's just that you will get to be able to discern who is good. That's why I teach my students discernment. When I tell y'all to follow all the mediums, I say, but discern who to follow, because some mediums, they're not gonna flow with you. They're not gonna fit right with you. They're not gonna be the
like the vague ones, Ermi, are still battling ego.
Yes. Yep. They have, and also they may have not been taught to push beyond the limits. They may not have been taught that. And me, when I'm teaching y'all, I'm like, come on, what else?
Yeah,
keep going.
You the pusher.
So I have seen some differences in, now that I'm kind of expanding my out into the other spiritual people that's here and wherever. Mm-hmm. I noticed that quite a few don't ask for permission to tap into your energy. And that's something that was pounded into us. So I always go, they didn't ask. Mm-hmm. But I'm learning everybody doesn't teach the same way. Everybody doesn't do things the same way. Different. Yep. Yeah, but if someone is giving me a reading and they didn't ask me that, I'll kind of be like, yeah, you have permission to tap into my energy. I just want to bring it up because you didn't bring it up, so I'll bring it up because it don't feel right, because that's how I learned. And that's the thing though, just because, and I'm not saying they right, I'm just saying we learn differently from different spaces. Right. And I'm learning that I pick up a lot of things, not just from the mentors or teachers, but even if I'm just in a live and I'm watching people interact in the chat and the things they bring forth and the things. So basically I'm saying Spirit has set up little classrooms for us everywhere. Absolutely. But we have to be aware. We have to, we have to be students. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of people do get wrapped up in their own press. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say it. You have gotten to a point where you forgot why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that we are bringing messages. There's a reason that Spirit is communicating. And I want you to be proud. I think everyone should be proud of anything that they've accomplished in hard work. But sometimes people, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, see, that's your discernment. That's your discernment. Okay, that's because you have discernment. And you wouldn't want that person to be in your energy. You already know, like, that's not going to be a reader for me, because nah. But I also have you guys be able to connect for yourself. So you don't have to have somebody read for you, but you could be tired. You be like, oh, I'm looking for a connection. Maybe I'm off a little bit today. And I would love for Keisha to tap in for me. Like, I want to see if my loved one will come through Keisha, So this is also, hey, Luke. Oh my God, Luke. That's B's Luke. But it's also you trusting what's coming from, like trusting what you feel in that person's energy or what that person feel for you. And then you gave them a moment to say, hey, okay, you didn't ask to tap in my energy, but so now that's like a thing, like, oh wait, maybe that's something I should do. So you said that there's nothing wrong. It's just now you're making it aware. A lot of people believe that when you are in those spaces, it's just you're giving consent anyway. because you're coming in those spaces. That's how some people are taught. Like if the person's there, that means they got consent already. Instead of going to each individual person, say, "Can I tap into your energy, Keisha? Can I tap into your energy, V?" Like, you know, so everybody does it differently. But I feel like when people do that, it's a respect of your energy. Don't just come into my shit. It's like somebody's invading your house. They busted through your doors and now they looking through your shit. Or, you know, like, nah. I want y'all to always protect yourself from anybody, everybody, you know, and allow yourself. Hey, Tyrone.
Just
But
want
yeah.
to point out real quick, and then we're gonna go back to the chat and grab one more question. I'm gonna turn it back over to Key.
Okay.
I went to this class. I hope T asked in this chat because I only went to this class because she's like, "Oh, V, it's a class, and I think it might help us improve on our class." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds good. Let's sign up for the class." We get in this class, man. I'm not calling her name,
Okay.
but she spent the whole class telling me how people shouldn't be doing mediumship. And I was tapping into the person, but she didn't like the way I tapped in because her husband came and he was telling me all the shit. And she was just like, "Well, no, because I studied in the UK. Bitch, don't nobody give a fuck." But anyway, that's what I was thinking. And so I was upset because you trying to take something from me that I know Spirit is giving me. And I saw someone for her, described him and everything. I could see by the expression on her face that she knew exactly who he was, but she couldn't give me that. She couldn't give me that. I'm texting T like, "What the fuck you got me into?" I don't understand that way of thinking. Can you expand on that? Why does she act like that?
Because again, some people don't want you to be better than them, V. Some people don't want to, because you new to the space, first of all. Okay, so you can't be right. 10 other people that be coming to her 12 sessions, 15 sessions, they come to her all the time, and she's feeding breadcrumbs. But here you come, this powerful woman that's so tapped in, that's got accuracy. She ain't gonna be like, I don't really know. Yes, you do know. You just don't want to accept the fact that I've got your person and I didn't do it through the way you normally would do it. A lot of people, when they teach one day of this, half a day of, like, you get pieces and pieces and pieces instead of just teach me everything. It does not take long to connect with spirit. It does not take long to do that. But why it got to be so long and drawn out? Again, I feel like for you, Key, V. Yeah, I'm over here like Key V. But I feel like for you, it's because y'all tapped in. Y'all tapped in for real. Y'all are tapped in for real. So never negate or allow somebody to take that from you or play you in your face, like play you. Like, because your spirit team will say, "Girl, now you know she lying." Because you tapped in so much. You trust yourself so much.
Excuse me, Lord. Sentence. How am I take you serious when you in here trying to teach class and you couldn't even pronounce the word? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Wow.
I'm like, she's like a pretty. I'm not calling no names. I'm just saying, yeah, y'all have some discernment because. And I'm not saying, that the class was bad because it was cheap. I'm just saying that a lot of people like these churches. Everybody want to be the boss. Everybody want to be the authority, the expert. So they branch out to St. John A&E and St. John B&E across the street and St. John CD on the other corner. That's how some of these spiritual people are. They have not been in their craft long enough to be able to be trying to lead someone. I don't care what it is. You still have to obtain the knowledge.
Yep. And too, V, some people that, again, I don't knock the Arthur Finley School, I don't knock all these other schools, but a lot of them, they don't really push the students. And they say, "I've been doing mediumship for 20 years. I've been doing it for 40 years. I said, "But so is spirit not evolving?" And I use the example when I do my spirit led lives. I had one person that had been doing mediumship for 30 years. She's actually a teacher. And she's like saying to me, "Oh my God, Ermi, I can't believe that you can deal with all of those energies all at one time. It's just too much." And I'm like, in my head, I said, "But so you still doing the same thing from 30 years ago? We are not evolving anymore? So what you mean you can't take all the energies? It's all energies around us all the time. So now differentiate, teach. Okay, I'm gonna connect with you. I'm gonna only connect with you. I'm gonna be able to. But it's some in some mind. She watched my lives, And I don't throw her no shade or nothing, but I have to say again, some people are not wanting to evolve that way because that's not how they were taught. And if spirit is your teacher, you're gonna keep getting taught. And that's what I say in the class. I'm only here for a moment, y'all, but y'all people with y'all. Your team is your spirit guide is there to continue to teach you. They gonna take over and be like, okay, here. No, listen, they handed me the baton when you found me. Okay, Ermi, here you go. Now I'm rocking with you for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and now I'm handing them back the baton. Like, all right, I think they got it. They connected with you. Go ahead, continue. Let them go ahead and be taught by my spirit guide. Come on, Joshua, my spirit guide. Come teach me. Show me what else is next. Because now I know your voice. Now I know that's you. Now I trust that it's you. You already built that trust and that connection. So being in that class, again, I'm not knocking out the person, whoever it is, because she's allowing herself to be able to teach somebody. But some people are not ready for it. I've seen some big, great mediums. They say, I never get cold cases. I never get spirits that come to me that show me like the most gory things and and here I am, wasn't taught by, and I'm seeing the most crazy shit. People get shot I'm like, whoa, what the heck? So I've allowed myself to be more expansive to get people that have transitioned from cancer and somebody that just got shot yesterday. Allow myself to be that expansive. And I've had people there's one lady who has to follow a long time ago. And I thought she was pretty good, but a lot of things in her mindset, I'm like, I don't resonate with that. And so when I started going live, I was like, oh, I forgot about this person. I went and looked at her, girl, blocked. I got blocked. I was like, well, what the hell I do? How I get blocked? So people, they still want to still have that same narrative. They still want to continue to allow people to say, I'm the only one that can teach you. That's it. When I'm like, go to V, she knows some stuff. Go to Keisha, they know some stuff. Shit, Shara knows some things. Go to them. Like, it's not just me. I could probably bring it to the water. You'll sip a little bit, but then you get mentoring by Shara more. You get mentoring by Jessica. So now you drinking, gulping. Oh shit, I ain't know. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So some people, they're taught to be like that. They're taught to stay in this box. I'm over here like, spirit, show me what else. Show me how big this could be. Show me more. And here I am taking a mushroom, and I'm saying, oh my God, it's way more than I thought. So I'm still learning from my spirit team, but I feel like, okay, I got a good hone on this. I got this pretty good. I'm really good at this so far. Now show me something else, spirit. And a lot of people that watch me, they're like, damn, how did she get somebody that just passed away yesterday? That same lady that blocked me, she was telling people you can't connect with people for a year.
When I tried to reach my loved one, so many mediums told me that.
Yeah,
they said it was too soon. I said, why? His spirit not strong enough to communicate. I mean, it was a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And I wanted and Keisha, go ahead and ask your question, because I got a lot of them. I was the same way in Clay. I got two more questions. I got questions.
Yeah, I was about to chime in on that. I was told that I had to wait at least 40 days. And I'm like the Noah's Ark, I'm like, oh, okay. But Coco had a question. Her question was, how do you take a class for mediumship? I don't think people understand the correlation of saying like developing mediumship.
So when people, because people believe that you can't teach mediumship. And I've done it so many times that I'm like, I don't even give people that energy. I don't give people my energy because I don't got time to argue about it. I've done it so many times. What you mean you can't teach it? So I always say my verbiage to say, I help people develop. You already got it. I'm just helping you develop. Mm-hmm. So again, I've had people on my life. What you mean teaching mediumship? You can't teach mediumship. Girl, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I done this so many times. I have no energy to convince somebody that you can help people understand the dynamics or the basics of mediumship, what goes with mediumship, and just knowing that you can connect with spirits. It's not just mediumship. It's connecting with spirits. Look at King, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. King.
Definitely called me for sure. I was not thinking about connecting with spirit. But now they in my house like, what's up? And I'm like, what's up?
And you're not afraid. And look how far you've gone, Keisha. Look at all the things you've done. And I met Keisha a while ago, y'all, before she even joined the class. And I kept saying, hi, Lakeisha. hey, Lakeisha. Until she took my class, she said, it's Keisha. I was like, oh, my bad. Hey, Keisha. So I've been seeing Keisha for a while before she knew everybody. And before she knew everybody, I was seeing her. She was finding her way until she said, you know what? I'm going to take the class. And she took the Intuition Ignited class. And then she took mediumship class. And now look at her doing a podcast. She's getting awards. She's being, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot. It's just to put a little push to trust somebody like, dang, okay, well, I mean, I don't know. And then you took the chances and you hearing in your gut, go take the class. And then you see how, oh my God, I was able to open up and see so much just by taking the class. And I don't gatekeep. So what you need? Because I need to, okay, let me help you. Spirit, what I'm supposed to do with? What I'm supposed to tell Keisha? Oh, Keisha, Spirit said da 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 da. When I do that, it makes you see, oh shit, I can do that too. That means somebody's with me too. Yeah, somebody's with you. And my spirit guide is talking to your spirit guide. So you got your own spirit guide. I got my own. They have a communication. Keisha is dealing with this. Oh, okay. Well, my spirit. Oh, Keisha. So my spirit guide said that you have a da 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 da. You understand that? Okay. So now you have a question about orbs. What's your question? Okay. Let me see, because I'm not too sure about. Oh, Spirit said the orb that's around your house is your auntie, sister. You know, so again, that shows me to have that connection with your own spirit team. A lot of people not teaching that. They're not teaching y'all to connect with your own spirit guides. You got your own people. They don't make y'all understand that. You got your own ancestors. Go to some of those classes. You'll see. And some people say, well, I'm going to talk to my spirit guide first before I connect with your energy. My spirit guide is going to bring your person to me. Versus I just see this energy. I'm connecting. You know what I'm saying? And then my spirit team is with me while I'm doing this connection.
Right. They there to protect you and guide you, but I'm no longer afraid of spirit. And taking your course, it really helped me because I used to think something was wrong with me. I saw spirit as a child. I heard things as a child. I saw things in my young adulthood, and I mean, even in my adulthood, but I could never go and talk to nobody about it, you know, because I was either crazy, it was demonic. They ready to throw holy oil all over me. Like I had no one that I could confide in. And so when I started to follow you and saw your journey, and then I joined the Discord, the unlocking, y'all became my family, my safe space. You know, I no longer feel like something's wrong with me. You know, now something wrong with your ass. Look.
And look at your friends. You ain't never think you was gonna meet Coco. You never thought you was gonna have a podcast with V. Look at your friends. Look at what the community brought to you. Look at how you allow a spirit to guide you, and then the right people connect with you. Right. And I'm like, Spirit, thank you. I say, even if people connect and then they no longer connect, at least they came to at least know that there is a connection. They're not afraid to have connection. They know how to set boundaries with people. They know, okay, I'm no longer a part of this community. I can go ahead and move on. I'm okay with that. I tell y'all all the time, listen, y'all can come in, y'all can hang out as much as y'all want, and then y'all can continue your journey in a different space. Y'all don't have to be here. I did my part. Some people will stay and be like, Ermi, we rocking 10 toes down forever. And other people say, okay, my time is done here and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Let the next teacher show up. Let the shaman show up. Let the amazing therapist show up. Let the people show up for you. As you develop more and more and build, let other people add on so you can build onto that. Okay, I just want to be at least the starting point to get you going. No, your starting point was when Spirit pushed you over here in this space. And now you caught up with me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, whenever you feel like it. I'm not going to say, girl, you need to be in my class. No.
And shout out to Alicia, the hypnotherapist. She's in the chat, but Alicia has been helping me develop something I had no clue about. I have energies to come to me to cross over, or energies show up to me that have not crossed over. And Alicia has been working with me. It started with a little girl. I just so happened to be on the phone with Alicia. I'm like, hold up. Why she in my house, Alicia? Like, what? You know? And Alicia was like, no. And she helped guide me through. And so recently I just moved, Ermi. You didn't know this, but I just moved. And it was some energies in my house. And I told Alicia about it. And so she helped me help the lady cross over. The lady didn't bother anybody. She was just here. And I'm like, I see her, but do my mama see her? Do my children? And I'm downstairs one day and I'm like, so y'all don't see the lady upstairs? Like, and everybody looking at me like, what the hell wrong with you? You know? But she didn't bother anybody. This lady was tied to this house because of her children. And so once we connected with her and when we were able to get her to cross over, it was amazing. So she's been helping me. So shout out to Alicia.
Shout out to Alicia.
Yes. Because at first I was like, hold up. I'm about to move. They can have this house because why is they showing up like this, Alicia?
And so I started watching, now that you say that, I started watching Dead Files again.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching Dead Files again, and because I learned about earthbound energies, and some energies, they will stick around, because Journey of Souls taught me that as well. Mm-hmm. Especially Wisdom of Souls taught me that as well. And some energies, they don't. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Keisha.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that's my book. I was screaming to the top of my lungs. Y'all get that damn book. It really helped me 4 years ago. It helped me so much. So that book helped me understand, well, the second one, I think, Wisdom of Souls, or Destiny of Souls. Destiny of Souls talk about earthbound energies. They talk about earthbound energies a lot. My spirit team, they bring earthbound energies, or bring the energies that, like the girl that's still missing. I feel like they saying, I need help. That's why I'm still here. I need help. That's why I'm showing. But other energies, other loved ones, that's my phone. Other energies. Why that phone ringing? Hold on, y'all. Sorry, hold on.
It's okay. I'm over here smashing these twigs. You okay over there, Miss V?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had froze up. I'm like, Miss V.
No, I'm here. While Ermi is getting her phone, I just wanted to go back to Jamar comment real quick, because he said he heard that it takes time for them to settle in and then go through the life review. But also Journey of Souls talks about how time works differently in the spirit realm than here. Yes. So, so even if they have those things to go through, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not available to communicate. Yeah, I was looking at this question, but anyway, back to Ermi.
I have a phone for emergency readings, and somebody was calling me for an emergency reading, so I was like, oh wait, I'm gonna call you back. Yeah, I have an emergency reading line now.
Okay, well,
hold on, let me flip my hair.
Well, Luna is the left tweet.
No, I told her. No, I'm talking to her later, so she's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Alicia, I have that really because when you lose someone, one of the things you want to do the most is get all the information. You're just reading and you're looking up everything. And Journey of Souls literally, I feel like, was it saved me. Mm-hmm. Like that book really did. It just dug into all of those hurts, because I'm the type of person, give me a reason. Mm-hmm. Show me why this happened.
Make it logical for me.
Yes. And that's what it did for me. Like, it just made sense, mm-hmm. And for hundreds of thousands of people to have these same type of experiences, I'm like, yeah, this gotta be real. And I'm not using this to promote anybody, but I'm just gonna tell you, because I'm getting my ducats in line, because Alicia got a great half off, and her
concessions, yes,
are now priced at $333.33. Because we get paid on the 23rd, Alicia. I'm coming.
They have off right now.
It's one of the things I have wanted to do it for so long. I just feel like I want to understand the contract between him and I. I want to understand all the things, because I feel like it will help me move forward, because healing is a huge part of moving into your gifts and abilities. Mm-hmm. It's a huge part. You can't just zoom past that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like you really can't. You've got to do the work, and I feel like that would be a great thing. So shout out to Alicia.
Shout out to Alicia.
Yes, we love you, Alicia. We just thank you for just being the vessel that you are. She don't mind helping anybody. So
yeah, I had to snatch her up. I'm like, you got to be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
Listen, I went live. I was on just at a small box, and there was a regular person, the host, and she texted me so quick. She's like, Ermi, I think your account was hacked. I said, huh? I was like, Alicia, I'm on somebody live right now. She said, She sent me a screenshot and everything. I said, I'm at the bottom right there at the box at the bottom. She's like, oh, I said, but one thing I know, you got me 10 toes down, friend. You gonna vouch for me. She said, I was ready to cuss everybody out. Who the hell stole Ermi phone? That's my girl.
And I hope we get a chance for her to come and sit and talk with us, because she does so many different things. Mm-hmm. And I did a past life regression with her, a group one. Mm-hmm. And after the past life regression was over that night, I was about to go to sleep, and I live alone. Mm-hmm. And I heard someone say in my ear, just like I'm talking to you, remember. Girl, I came off that damn bed so fast, because it was so like, this won't, clear audits. This was somebody said in my ear, remember. That whole experience just, I don't know. It just changed the direction I was moving in. Spirit started saying different stuff to me, because I was all like, me and shit, but I know that that's still a part of it, but it's a lot of things I got to do work in. And I can't skip those parts, and I'm going to be stronger for it. So I'm grateful to Alicia. If y'all can't tell, I get easily influenced by folks. But it's a wonderful experience. I would, if you have not, I highly say check her out. She has so many different services. And while I'm on the plug, just let me shout out Miss Patina real quick, Sacred Voice Crystals. Because, I've been on her site and Olivia's page, 8th House Crystals. Yeah, they broke my budget for the week. But really? It is well worth it. Go check them out. I like to support people that I see doing great things. So that's that. I'm sorry, Key. We didn't even discuss that. I'm sorry.
We got to add one more to the list. Let's add Marsha, because I be breaking the bank over there with Marsha. Like this necklace is from Marsha. These bracelets is from Marsha. I love Marsha. She does custom design jewelry, so I have custom made bracelets and necklaces from her as well. I love her. So shout out to Marsha as well. And then Ms. V, don't be trying to give everybody a shout out, but you ain't speaking about what you got going on.
Girl, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it later.
I'm all ears.
So I want Key and I, we've talked about what our objectives were, but more than anything, we want to be a positive space. We want to be a place where people can come and speak their truth and learn and share. It may be topics that you may not necessarily agree with, but just, let's already agree that learning sometimes brings uncomfortable feelings. Mm-hmm. Examining beliefs that you've had your entire life may make you feel uncomfortable. But I would much rather you guys please discuss, dialogue. Don't report to TikTok. Let's not do that. Get answered in advance. And that's all. I just want to bring that up, because adults should be able to disagree and have dialogue, because that's how we learn and how we grow. And I think too often we get locked into our systems. We can't see anything other than what we feel is right. And you can't grow that way. No. Sometimes you just got to be uncomfortable and sit in that shit and understand where in that thing is your lesson. Yeah. Because the whole point of this journey is to grow, to expand. We signed all these contracts long before we got here, and we don't even remember. But think about this. Would these people be coming into your path? Would all of these things be happening if it wasn't divine? That's my belief. I feel like I could have went in anybody's live back in last November. It didn't have to necessarily be Ermi. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's not how Spirit had that shit set up. I went in Ermi's live, and a whole world I didn't even think was available to me all of a sudden is like, and I cried the first 3 months, I think. I mean, I would literally just sit in there and just be laying on my bed and just crying. And because the way things were set up, I couldn't grieve out loud. I couldn't grieve with people in my real life. The only time I got to just let it go, to release it, was laying on my bed, watching Ermi give readings. So, all of the, people could say what they want to say, but everybody's been put somewhere for divine time and to perform a specific thing. Yep. And when you are out of alignment, when you refuse to let spirit do or follow the bread, as they say, breadcrumbs, because you always have free will, but you can't blame spirit and God in the sky and everybody else if you refuse to accept the things that are meant for you. You know what I'm saying? You're making the decisions. You're driving the bus. You're not helpless. You're not powerless. You're just disobedient and you're out of alignment. But I just wanted to bring that before we close, because I don't know how much longer we're going to go, but I want to get that thought out, because a lot of times I think we are bringing Christian practices into the spaces where we're supposed to be deconstructing and growing. And you can't continue to, blame everybody but yourself for decisions you're making. Whether they turn out good, whether they turn out bad, that was your shit. And, and I know that there are things that go on in spiritual communities, and I said this last week, and I'm going to bring it up again. Everybody ain't putting a hex on your ass. Right. Everybody's not dropping negatives or stuff. Sometimes you just fucking up.
Right. Tell them, V.
So I just, that's something that irks my nerves, because it's the same mentality that's in the church.
Yep.
God is good, devil bad. But you're never responsible for anything in between those two things. And we cannot grow that way. We cannot pick up and move the way we need to move for ourselves, for our kids, for our loved ones, for our whole spiritual collective. And I think that's the whole point of this. There's something bigger that's coming, and we're all a part of it, and we got to do our part. And that's all I had to say.
Ms. V, why you gotta pull the wooden spoon out on everybody? The wooden spoon.
Well, I mean, for me, the biggest thing I want to do is grow. Yeah. I want to get it all. I want to learn it all. I want to know it all. I don't want to miss nothing. Yeah. And sometimes I have to pull back so I can focus on what's in front of me, because I get distracted by, I gotta do this. And so I had to slow myself down. So I don't know about nobody else, but sometimes I just have to pull back and just look, right? Because there's so many people in this community that I admire and I want to learn from. But I got to get this one thing. First thing, I got to heal. Right. I got to real take care of these things. And I tried to skate past that real quick. I was like, I'm tapped in now. I ain't got to worry about this. And that shit set me down so fast.
Remember what I told you, V? And told all of my students the very first day, I said, this is not about mediumship. This is about your journey. Mm-hmm. That's the very first thing I teach all my students.
I've taken two classes with you, right, Ermi? One on Intuition Ignited and 101. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed after every class that I've taken, I've also taken Rita Oracle Connect 101 and 102. But after every class, I have to do that, because each class has opened up other layers of healing that I thought I didn't even have to pull out the bag, or, that I thought I'd already worked through. Mm-hmm. And I left all of the classes. I don't know what Ermi was like. I know she was tired of me crying. I think I cried every week. Every week in every class.
Remember that one exercise? What you feel? The yes or no exercise?
I was the yes or no exercise.
Yeah, you was out of there. I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. I said, but we all right. We love you, Keisha. We all, it was a moment. And then even with V, in that class with V, V cried. She turned her camera off. She cussed me out. She walked outside. She gave me everything. Her ass to kiss. She gave it to me. And then we were like, turn the camera on, V. Well, I said, turn the camera on, V. She's like, I'm crying. I was like, oh, sorry. She's like, I hate you, Ermi. But I love you, Ermi.
I just smoked a cigarette, girl. Ermi had me stressed. But I went in one of Ermi's workshops, and I don't remember who was in there, but they were using Racky's picture. And I have done that multiple times with Ermi. And, it was cool. But this particular time I went in there, that's what we talking about, when you don't know, you think you healed. Mm-hmm. And and one of the people in the workshop brought something forward that nobody had.
She in here right now. She listening.
She brought something forward about Racky that nobody had, and it caught me off guard. I didn't even have time to snatch my face up, it caught me so off guard, it choked me up. It felt like it had just happened. Mm-hmm. It took, I was trying not to cry, I was trying to get out of there, because I was all to pieces. I really was, and it made me realize that, I was doing good. I had gotten really good at coping, but I wasn't healed.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't where I wanted to be. And then I realized something else, like Ermi just said. I had made it about getting good as a medium. I had made it about learning the cards and this and that, but I wasn't focusing on my journey.
Yep.
What is the end game in this? Where am I heading and why?
Yeah.
That's such a deep piece to get into when you start really with it and thinking about who you want to be. And so yesterday, I went live because I wanted to release. I wanted to do it in a way that it was really gonna. I don't know exactly why. I just know when I got up, Spirit said your ass going live, and he didn't say it exactly like that, but he wouldn't let me go. He wouldn't let me go, and all day long I said no. So finally I did it, and I really understand now why Spirit wanted me to go live, because the whole time that I was grieving, everybody silenced me. And I never aired nobody out. I never corrected nothing. I never said that's not true. I never did any of that. But yesterday I sat on this app and I said everything that's been sitting in my stomach for a year and a half.
Wow.
I got it out. And I felt better for doing it. And I was talking to Spirit about it again this morning. And what I know is that it's going to be some more uncomfortable moments. It's because it seemed like to me every time Spirit is leading me to do something for my good, the shit don't feel good. It don't feel good, but it's for my good.
Exactly. It never does, because it's those things that we suppress. It's those things that we never wanted to face. And remember, we talked about ego in the class. It's what ego don't want you to even go back. See, that's why I told you, ego. This is ego talking. See, look at you hurting, you crying in front of everybody. Look at you. That ego, no, don't do it no more. Don't do that no more. And your higher self say, yeah, do it again. Do it again so you can heal again. Go deeper. Yes. But your ego said, nah, you don't like the way that hurt feel. You don't like to be seen. Don't let everybody see you. That's where imposter syndrome sneaks in. It's like, man, all those things is to prevent you from doing what you are essentially supposed to be doing. You turn on your camera and those people watch you. They needed to hear that. So it was for you, but not just for you. It was not just for you. You don't know how many people you touched. You don't know how many people you pulled out of the grave in that moment. Yeah. They got one foot in the grave, ready to take themselves out. And here you go, listening to Spirit, going live to say what you had to say. And that hurt that they were feeling, that person was feeling, they were able to be like, damn, I'm so glad. Boy, Spirit, you must have told V to go live today because she talking to me. Talking to me. So I don't want anybody to take your journeys for granted, because y'all don't know who y'all helping. You helping yourself, but you don't know who else you're helping. And that's why I always say go. I'm not telling everybody to go live, but that's why I go live. That's why I put myself in spaces, because I don't know who I'm here to help. Y'all just show up. Me turning my camera on, me just showing up so other people could show up too. I'm showing up for the person that's been praying and crying, Jesus help me, Jesus help me, and then Ermi show up talking about, we ain't talking about Jesus, we talking about you. Something somebody need to hear. So I give myself a little bit of honor when I know that my spirit team has guided me this whole time, and I'm no longer afraid. I'm no longer afraid of fear. You know that song? For I am a child. Remember that song? Now I hear it in a different way. I'm no longer afraid to. I'm not afraid of that, because now I know. Okay, my ancestors got me. My spirit team got me. Y'all got me for real. When I was in church, I didn't know who voice that was. Now that I'm out, I'm like, oh, it's all of y'all. It's me. It's my higher self. And my higher self said, lights, camera, action. Let's go, Ermi. You did it. You got past that obstacle. You got past point. You about to meet the big boss. You done got past level 1 and 2 on Nintendo with Mario. You done beat up.
When I tell you, Ermi, going live or just being in front of people, period, being in the public's eye view, my face would freeze up. I'll be on the camera like, I was just that terrified. So it has been, I've been growing. And that's because Spirit has put me in some uncomfortable situations and brought some opportunities to me. And with the opportunities, I can hear Spirit like, take it. You do it, and I'm like, I don't want to. And they like, no, you gonna do it. But it has helped me grow tremendously. And so I'm grateful for that. But everyone has not crossed that threshold of being able to be in front of the camera or going live. And so I don't want them to forget about another avenue of telling their story.
Thank you.
Write it.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in a book. It's
Substack.
therapeutic for you, and it can help you. You won't even know who all it touched and help.
Right.
Even if it just helps one person,
Yep.
it's done its job.
Yep.
I also write. I write books. I didn't start writing books until I lost my best friend, my fiance, and two of my brothers, and one of my closest cousins that stayed in the household with us, all in 1 year. So that pushed me into a gift that I didn't even know I had, and that was writing, telling my story. But it also saved me because it brought me off the ledge. But in the midst of that, I'm still hearing stories now of how my story touched and helped someone else. And that was just through me writing my feelings out on paper. So even though we might go live, if you don't feel like that's your avenue, that does not mean that your voice cannot be heard.
Absolutely.
There are other avenues, and I'm all for helping. So
I was on the phone with my
Know how to
sister
purchase
today.
the book.
Oh, the book, yeah. I was on the phone with my sister today, and she is trying to rebrand herself. She's just like, I don't know what to do. Mind you, this girl has been on media. She has been on the news station. She has created a huge community. She's gotten I feel like she got the key to the city, like she is very well known. And now she's trying to rebrand herself. And she was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm a little nervous. I'm afraid. And I'm over here like, what? So now, because she's doing something new, something different, something out of her comfort zone. And I said, literally, you holding on to shit. You need to release your shit. Why you don't want to release it? Because you don't want people to smell your shit? Because you the shit. Release the shit so they can find you, so the flies can come near you, so people can come and be attracted. You have, and I hate to use it in that way, but I said, you holding on to shit, you constipated, can't walk, can't move, because you're keeping yourself stagnant because you're holding on to shit. Let the shit go. Release your shit so people can smell your shit. They be like, ooh, she's the shit. And flow in your shit. I said, now let me go see your page. Oh, okay. So who's this person? You need to check. We don't even know who you are. So I had to make her do a whole rebranding of her page. And she already got these photos, all this stuff. And I'm like, just begin to show up. Just show up for the people. It don't matter. And then she mentioned, oh yeah, I started doing Substacks. Okay, so you showing up by writing your words. So what you saying, Keisha, is literally, I just told my sister this. And then I had a client today for my coaching, and I'm telling her all the things. Set boundaries, get ready to, because I already see where she's going. And she's nervous. She's nervous, she's scared. But I said, but still show up. So hopefully she's watching, because I know you guys are going to be a valuable piece for her, I don't want to say her journey, her healing, the grief side of it. The heavy grief that you guys had, that you no longer encompass. You don't carry that heavy grief. You may still grieve, but it's not as heavy as it was before. Like V said, for 3 months, she's in the bed crying. 3 months, 4 months. And just me showing up saying, hey, y'all.
I started to watch you, but I wasn't watching like consistency. I pop in, pop out. But when I had my first heart attack, when I came home from the hospital, you was the first person I saw. And I'm laying in the bed, so I got time to watch. And so I just kept watching and kept watching. And I have two heart attacks. One in April and then one in October. Before I took your class, before I started to take your classes. But I felt like I knew my heart attacks wasn't because I was just unhealthy or not doing right. I knew that it was spiritual, but I couldn't determine, how to unlock this. Well, you helped me unlock that. And from meeting you, I met Alicia, and Alicia helped me remove those blockages. And I haven't had any heart issues since. And I went to my heart doctor, and my heart doctor was like, I don't need to see you for another year. And I'm down to only one medication for my heart. So I just wanted to say thank you. I just want to say thank you because y'all just don't know.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I got full body chills. Thank you so much for sharing that, because that was something for me with the shift that I'm trying to do. And I'm over here thinking, well, what did I do? I didn't do anything all year. That's me talking to myself. This is ego saying, you ain't do nothing all year. All year, Ermi, you ain't do nothing. And then I get somebody, that pop up on the live and say, Ermi, you don't know what you did for me this year. You did, and I'm like, what? And then Spirit will bring something else and bring something else to my presence, like make me pay attention to certain things. It's like, you don't see what you did. Let me show you something else you did. So you saying that, Keisha? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Saying that, V, that helps me too. It really does, y'all. Because I'm over here, could be sitting here, and I'm just like, what the? I literally said it to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I have to check myself sometimes and be like, girl, you doing it all. Come on, you're doing your thing. Like, what? This don't even make sense. How these people even trust that I'm even saying the right thing? This shit is crazy. Me talking myself, trying to self-sabotage myself. And then I have to get my reality check. Come on, snap back. Come on, you got this. Keep going, Ermi. Nope. You about to wake up at 4 a.m. to do this live. Because somebody need to hear something from you. They just lost their person 2 days ago. They just lost it. I looked up that story of I don't remember her name, but the one that her partner, her boyfriend, was unalived by his dad, and I felt all the things, and I saw him trip and hit the floor. His face hit the floor, boom, flat. Well, he was unalived by his dad. Pew pew 12 times. 12 times, y'all. I looked up that story. Spirit told me, look up that story right now. Look it up. This is what you're doing, Ermi. You're literally allowing yourself to have these energies come through. You allowed yourself to where people can get more access to you. Okay, you can help people in the moment. You're doing it, but you got to keep talking about your story. Mm-hmm. Church hurt ain't it? You ain't got no church hurt. You telling your story. This is your story. This is your life. You lived it. Nobody can't live it for you. You live in your life. So now talk about it, because it's going to resonate with somebody. That's just sitting in a pew looking, waiting to get out of church and don't know how to get out of church. And you say something that's going to help them. You say something, you guide them to V and say, well, I know somebody that can help. Let me go ahead and connect you with my friend V. Let me help you with Keisha. She's a grief counselor. She's a perfect person. I said that before on my live. I got somebody in the community that's a grief counselor. Her name is Keisha. She'll pop in here soon. Mm-hmm. That's why I snatched up V and said, V, I need you to be the speaker. I snatch up V a lot. You seen her come to your class, Keisha.
Yeah.
He came to your class. I said, V, I need you to speak to these ladies. V's like, I'm not a speaker. She said that from when I first met her. I said, she don't even know the half. She about to help break some chains off of people.
Yeah, and she did. She had me crying. I was captivated the first day. Like, I love her. Really,
she don't remember, but we were in class and she was like, V, I'm gonna introduce you to Keisha, because she works with grief, and I think you're gonna be doing it. And by the time we had already met on one of my posts, and she got up, she said, "Oh, y'all already met."
I forgot. Yeah, but look at that. It was already connected.
You said, I see you and Keisha, y'all could do some things together. You said, I don't even think we was 2 weeks deep in class and we were talking about it. I hadn't met Keisha yet. You just happened to come on one of my posts on TikTok. And I said, oh, you're the one Ermi was talking about. And yeah.
I totally didn't. I totally forgot that. So that's how I know Spirit be using me for real. Because I remember now you talking about it. I remember because you were in my very first Intuition Ignited class. I knew of Keisha. I had already started talking to communicate with her. And I said, oh my God, you and Keisha would be a great pair. Oh my God, I do remember it now. And then when Keisha had her class, I said, I'm going to bring somebody in the class, you guys. Her name is V, blah, blah, blah. And here, you can't make this shit up.
It really happened like that.
It did.
Yeah. So when she said, V, I got this podcast or whatever. I said, well, let me talk to my team. And it was just like, yes. I was like, and I don't like public speaking, but I was obedient.
Yep. Look at all the people that you touched at my event when you spoke. People talking about it. Right. I know you don't.
I was so nervous. I don't even remember.
But when my spirit team say, get her, talk to her, she's gonna say yes, Ermi. In my mind, I'm like, she ain't gonna want to do that. But then Spirit's like, yes, she will. Just ask her. You have not because you ask not. So ask. And all they can say is either yes or no.
And she was so nervous when the podcast first started, and then the minute we started, she lit up like a tree, and it was just like
it was so good.
Yes, and I was over there just I didn't even want to talk. I'm just like, yeah, B, go B.
Yeah, y'all don't make me blush, but I just believe that I just feel good about if we're touching, if it's just one person. Because I just always go back and I keep, and I'm not trying to make it about myself, but whenever I'm doing something, I always try to imagine what I needed, who I needed in that moment, right? And I don't think Ermi was talking about she don't know she touched somebody, but I'm telling you, the first time you brought Racky through, that my whole chest felt like it had caved in, like I just breathed freely for the first time in months.
Oh.
Because as soon as you tapped in, and I wasn't tapped in, but I knew that connection was real. And you may not remember this, but you ended it by saying he gave you a rose. And I know that that's one of your symbols, but I didn't know that then. But that's what he always did. He always hid a rose up the sleeve of his jacket and did this to me. And our anniversary was in 2 weeks from that reading. So everything that you said, just, man, you just do not understand what that did for me. Because you confirmed that he really is still here. It ain't just that you talk, he's really here. Do you know how life-changing that is to someone who don't know that?
Yes.
In the middle of their grief, that he's not really gone, he's still here. That's why I think people like you that are helping people develop are so important. You are so needed in this community. And I don't know what's next for you, because I see things changing, but I really sincerely hope that it's always a space for people who need to develop to come to.
Yes. And that's just going back to like religion. Religion teaches you that death is finite. And when I had already started to kind of debunk that before I met Ermi, because I couldn't sleep at night with that thought. And so when I tapped into Dolores Cannon, that gave me hope. That released me. Because I didn't want to see my brother as gone forever. Like I couldn't phantom that. Like even now it makes me feel some type of way, but when I tapped into Ermi and in the journeys of soul, it was like it really unlocked it. You named that community perfectly, unlocking. But when I tapped into that, and I know that they're not gone, my brother be in my house all the time. I'd be like, nigga, I'm talking to my brother, I'm talking to my granddad, I'm talking to my grandma, like
Divine timing. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Today's episode, and it's key. I know we got to wrap it up because we went over our time limit. But I just want to tell you, when I reached out to Jessica for your bio, and one of the lines said "unchurch," and I said, "Well, damn, that's the name of the episode today." See, it's all already worked out, and I told Jessica, I said, "Oh wow, this meant she was supposed to be here today." I mean, it's always, and if we stop pretending like coincidence, right, and really go ahead and accept that there's somebody out there that's there to give us direction, just think as a collective where we could be, folks.
Right.
Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, yes, and also if you haven't checked out Dolores Cannon or Vice.
Yeah, let me get the books.
Other additional authors that you can read. They have some really good books about the subject. Brian Weiss, I like him too. He writes very simple. You can understand what he's talking about. And also, a lot of these books are on YouTube as free audio
books.
Yeah, you can go right on YouTube.
Books on the Garden. Dolores Cannon. I got like a lot of her books. These are in my bedroom because I'm in my bedroom right now, y'all. But Dolores Cannon, I have a lot of her books.
She's dope, and she's also the founder of QHHT. hypnosis, and that's what Alicia does. Brian Michael Newton's is called Life Between Lives, LBL, because I've been looking that up because I want to do that. I want to be a facilitator, but that's neither here nor there. But these are, two resources, and I think Keith, can we link them on our YouTube page? Because if you didn't know, we have a YouTube page that all of our recordings from these podcasts will be on the YouTube page.
Yes. So it's spiritual tea with V and Key, and I'll tag it in the comments. Or Lena can tag it in the comments. There she goes.
You see
and
that
I'll,
girl? It's lit up and everything.
I see it.
and also, what else you asked me for, V? Because I'm over here doing something.
If we could go ahead and give them our next topic for next week, and
Yes.
any last words from Ermi. And we thank you again, Ermi, so much for being here.
Absolutely. So next week, we will be talking with Jessica, and we're gonna tap into the Akashic records. And so basically, the topic of that will be how your past lives, your past soul assignments are pouring over into your new life, your present life. And so I'm excited because I felt that this was needed to see the connection and the correlation, because she brought something up for me that actually helped me work through my daddy issues in this lifetime, and why I had such a disdain for my father in this present moment. And so when she helped me to unlock that, just say I'd heal them daddy issues, y'all. So
Listen, y'all about to make me cry.
Like they used to. Yes.
Y'all about to make me cry. I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, y'all just don't know about the text right now. So you on the podcast? You didn't tell me it was on the podcast.
And because she has. We'll talk about all that next week because she's got classes coming up. We'll make sure that we're gonna start linking this all. I want to make sure that our guests get their plugs, because these are all phenomenal people with phenomenal things going on, and we want to keep you guys informed because we're information based too. Did I miss anything before we let Ermi have last words?
Yeah, so I wanted to speak on something. I actually have started the process of a new anthology, and it is called Love Language of Grief, Volume 2, When the Love Still Speaks. And yes, ma'am, Miss V is writing on that anthology with me. Yay, V. But I also have additional slots that are still available for this anthology. And so if you're interested, please feel free to DM me or give me a call. However, grief is just not about death. I know when we think of grief, we think about death, but this book is broadening our horizons with grief. Grief can be grieving your identity. It could be grieving a divorce, a marriage. It could be grieving dreams. You could be grieving that you had kids at 17 and then these ungrateful it could be about a lot, but we just want you to be able to tap in and release and tell your story. So for me, I love writing because it's very therapeutic for me, but it also is an act of service. It helps heal others in their souls. So if you're interested, let me know. And I just want to say,
don't forget to mention the Ermi's. Ermi has it's December 22nd at 7 on Zoom. They're selling tickets for the holiday mediumship. It just popped in my head. Spirit was like, wait a minute, you forgot to mention something. So make sure you tell them about that, Ermi. Go ahead, Key. I'm sorry, Key.
Let Ermi tell them about that. I don't know the details. Ermi, tell us about it.
Oh, okay. So I am having an event with Marsha and Travi next week on December 22nd. That's a Monday. And it's the week of Christmas week. And we are wearing our ugly sweaters. We're going to have prizes, but we're doing mediumship. All right. And it's only 25 books. and it's next week, Monday.
Okay.
So, and it's only $25, and it's going to be on a Zoom, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the link is in my bio for that event. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast for the holidays. All of my mediumship classes are full, so the classes are full, so nobody else can get into those classes, and those are supposed to be my final classes. Somebody begged me, y'all, in my DMs, you got to have another class, you got to, and I'm like, what? So,
Ermi, don't
I'll,
hurt my heart like that. This is not the last 102, is it?
oh, the 102? No.
Okay.
Well, it might be. This is 101. Yeah, because I'm having a shift, y'all. I'm doing a lot of different things. Spirit has been pushing me in different directions. I'm still going to, I feel like Spirit may have me do some more classes as far as one-on-one, but I don't know. I don't know what that look like, but they told me no more. And again, I listen to my spirit team, so it may be something that's shifting when it comes to that. I don't know. But they was like, that's going to be the last one. You're going to go ahead and hang that one up. Okay. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I got that one in, but I definitely need to get 102 in before you hang it up. So.
Yeah, because I got to get also my mentoring of 103 students, which is 4 students, which is going to be a longer time. That's why I feel like I'm going to be more focused on helping them build with 103. But yeah, I think Spirit's going to do something different with the 101, because I mean, they say shut it down, but deep down inside, I'm like, I think y'all about to do something different with it, maybe different dynamics, different something, change it a little bit, But right now, it's done. Okay. I have a workshop that is on the 27th. So those workshops, I love doing those workshops. And V has been a guest for me in the workshop, I want to say about 3 times already. So she's a delight, and I love asking her to help me out. And she never say no. She always like, yes, I'll do it. And I love that about V. And everybody that's, that does it for me, they're open to do it. So they know they're helping, what else do I have going on? The workshop, the mediumship class, as I mentioned, the event. I feel like there's something else I'm missing, y'all. I am trying to I don't think I need to talk about that. Let me see. I want to say that's it, but I feel like I forgot something. Well, anyway, that's everything. And I'm going to be at Marsha's event February 7th and 8th that weekend. I will be I'll be in Atlanta. And y'all can get $10 off from your tickets. It's a 2-day weekend, 3-day weekend. And you get $10 off using my code unlocking. So you guys can join that event and use the code. I will be a speaker at that event as well. I'm opening myself to be on more podcasts, more. So it was a delight to get that message from you guys to be on. I was like, I just said that I'm going to be on more podcasts, and here, I was on a podcast a month ago, and then you guys podcast. So I'm like, Spirit, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, and I know. Oh, that's what it is. My vision board event. I was like, it's something else I'm supposed to be talking about. But I see what you're doing, Spirit, and I see how you're putting me in these spaces, and I'm appreciating all of it. And the last thing is I have a vision board event, which is called Aligning with Your Destiny. And I know this is going to be the year 1 because we're coming out of a 9, but people say it's still a 10. However, I'm going to have about 6 speakers at that event. And 2 different ones. I have a male speaker. I have the rest of them are women speakers, and they're going to talk about manifesting, talk about how to take care of your yoni, self-care, divine feminine energy. Jessica's going to be speaking about Akashics there as well. So people can know a little bit about Akashics, so that's going to join. I've created an ebook workbook that coincides with that vision board. So people have to do the report card that's in it. They have to do the different activities I have. Like, I'm intentional with that one. And then maybe in the future I'll do one in person, because I think Spirit's trying to get me to do that. But yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna be tapping into that event for sure.
It's gonna be a lot of people. Yeah, it's a lot of people that's gonna be there, and I was so happy that they all say, "Yeah, I'm coming." Yeah,
and I'm manifesting Save Yourself event, so I'll be there too.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blast. And I appreciate everybody that came to that event this year, February, when I was the speaker there. And Nikki's talking about it right now, so thank you, Nikki, for being there. I appreciate you. And then when I had everybody stand up, who came, to be here, and they know me, and it was like half of the room. I was like, oh, so that was another shocker for me. Like, Spirit's like, Ermi, come on now, this year's going to be amazing. So thank you guys.
Yes,
for
we
being that.
will,
And thank you
child.
guys. Thank you guys for allowing me on this podcast as well. Everything I have is on ermiseeds.com. I may rebrand, I may be doing something, but come along for the ride, y'all. Come along for the ride. I'm enjoying it.
ErmiSeeds.com. And I love the fact that you're doing the event. You know, around the holidays, people get so sad, and that's wonderful. And y'all make sure y'all check out Keisha's link in the bio for her book. And we talked about everything else. Oh, Key, we got to do our little tradition. Everybody got to give a piece of a one-liner, preferably, for the week.
Yes. Yes.
For the week. Keep the energy up for the week. Should we let our guests go first?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, give us something for the week.
For this week is coming
words,
up.
3
A
words.
word, 3 words.
A phrase or something.
I just want everybody to remember to just do you. Do you, boo. Do you, boo.
Do you, boo. I like that.
Okay,
And
Key.
for this week, I want everybody to free yourself. Free yourself. Yes. Free yourself. It's enough. It's enough chains and oppression. Free yourself. Release and free yourself.
I'm going to tell people to be selfish.
Oof. I like
Come
that.
on, selfish.
That's what y'all do this week. Be selfish.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
All righty, Key. You ready to wrap this baby up? Put a bow on?
Well, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you today, Ermi. Thank you for coming on with us. We love you so much. You know we do. And we want to thank everybody for being here with us today. Like we say, this is Spiritual Tea with V and Key, where the tea is divine and the truth is unapologetic, unfiltered, and unedited. Yes.
That sounds good, girl.
And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll see y'all back here same time next week.
Thank you. Love y'all.
Bye, guys.